Hello. Morning. Where's my internet at? Hello? Oh, there I am. There I am. Ah, of course. Of course I know that man. He's me. Okay. There I am. Ah. There I am. Ah, of course. Of course I know that man. He's me. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Cool. Okay, I'm almost done setting up here. Okay. We good? We are good. Wonderful. Okay. All right. Hello. Welcome in. Good morning. What are we doing today? What did we do yesterday? Yesterday we got hauling working, which was great. We love that. We love that. And I haven't actually checked this, but I have been. We were doing the inventory swapping. Look at that. Isn't that? We have that. I can swap item slots as well. I can put stuff over here. I can put stuff over there. We have inventory management now. It's a thing. Walter White, welcome in. Good morning. But I'm gonna see if he can actually haul this stuff, because technically he should do the hauling task there. Yeah, so he's gonna go put that in his inventory. He took a weird path there. And look, now it's in that inventory. Isn't that sweet? So we have that working. That whole flow is working. Now, things to do today for this. I need to fucking organize this sheet. Goddamn, it is getting gnarly. Item hierarchy refactor. We did that. We're done with that. We did that ahead of time. I wasn't going to do that until then, but it had implications on storage, so I did it already. Okay. Where? See, this is bad. Okay, post other task, haul to storage. We did the haul in inventory. We need to do haul world now, so I think that's going to be the overarching goal for today. What we're heading towards now. I don't know, we may not get there because I need to actually create like world items. Things that can be dropped in the world. So I think a couple of things that we want to do next. I don't have a section for this. I don't have it. Let's just put this under tasks. I am going to say, so we did all the inventory stuff, so I'm just going to do a little inventory section here. I want to do split stack. And I'll say shift click to split stack, and I'll say control click to grab single. I think. Oh, and right click to transfer to trade. All right, we'll say transfer. So those are, yeah, I can't. I just ghost. Welcome in. Your poop mechanics made me giggle. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to explain it, so you just get to... It'll just be an exercise for the interested listener to imagine what I'm talking about. Yeah, and then right-click to transfer. So I'm going to do a few more inventory things, I think, to start out here, just because I'm already doing them. I'm already here, so I'm just going to finish those out. And then what do we do? What am I doing after that? I need to actually do making the world. I need to drop item on ground, which is it's a big one. I have to do like a bunch of shit for that. I'll need to create like an ISMC. We'll need to like, you know, pass in what textures to render on, because I'm just gonna drop little cubes on the ground for now. I'm not actually gonna like drop the mesh, because that's gonna like what do I drop for wood, right? Like what do I don't know what do I drop for arrow? Like I guess I do have a mesh for arrow. I don't have a mesh for wood. I don't know what I'm gonna do for that. Which is why I'm just gonna do the little cube with the texture on it. Oh, I can target it. I kind of forgot about that. Can I? I don't know. It's not letting me target it anymore. Where is the hitbox for it? It has a very, very inconsistent hitbox. Okay. So let's do some shift click, control click. We're gonna do shift click to split. So I need to do on drag detected. I need to check if shift is held down. And I think I have is shift down. Yeah, I have that somewhere. I literally just saw it pop up. Where the hell was it? Is shift. Socket drag drop is shift down. Modifier key state. Oh, I didn't know about this thing. What game is this, or are you making a game? I am making a game. What is this? What is this and how do I use it? Because that sounds useful. Socket drag drop. How do I like register this? I would like to use this modifier's key state. It sounds useful. Jesus Christ, there's a lot. Hey bro, what is this? we're making a video game. Welcome in everyone. I'm working on an RPG, Colony Sim Roguelite, with procedural destructible terrain and AI generated quests. So I could probably come up with a better seed to show this. This is kind of flat, but here's my procedural terrain so far. Got a nice red zone over here, some hemp, big trees. Got like a foresty zone here. Here's me. And we got a bunch of underground caves and stuff. I think there's one over here. Let me take a peek in. Oh, it's right here. Oh, here's a big one. Yeah, we got some underground caves, some concavity. We're just gonna dive in. We're just gonna dive right in. Yeah, nothing super exciting down here yet, but I will spawn like ore and monsters and stuff. And I'm just falling through the fucking ground, aren't I? Okay. Let's try out a new seed. We're on seed 543, 544. So yes, welcome in. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. What I'm going for is something like vanilla WoW, like classes and combat and talent trees, you know, like unique classes with unique abilities, like lots of abilities to choose from in combat. And then add that to like a colony sim, something like RimWorld, which is one of my favorite games of all time. RimWorld's a very depthy colony sim where you have to like you kind of build a base and you recruit different colonists to your base, and they each have different skills and different personalities, and all sorts of random stuff happens in the game. Like you get raided, you know, pawns have mental breaks if you don't keep them happy, you know, if their fucking parents die or something like that, like they get super upset, or you know, their wife dies. And then they have a mental break, and you know, there's religion in the game, there's other factions that attack you. It's a really fun game, but it's like a top-down 2D game. I'm trying to take that, make it 3D, and then also I want to be in the world with the colonists. Like I have a talent tree, and I have some abilities here. I can turn spawning on. This seed also isn't very exciting, so let me turn spawning on, and then I can also show a little bit of combat as well. So let's turn on spawning there. World map seed 544 545. That's what we're on now. Good morning. This is a new and fresh way to start my day. You're deving. I am deving. Yes, dude. These seeds are so boring. These seeds are so boring. Give me a good seed. Give me a good seed for these nice people. But here's the world map. There's another thing to show off here. I am in Gloomhaven Ruins. Is the zone name. So this is procedurally generated as well, and each one of these colors, right now it represents a different biome, which is, for me, it's just like what assets are spawned into that zone. And what I'm going for is I want these zones to be kind of similar to World of Warcraft zones in that they are very distinct and they are separate and they have names and they're actually grounded in the world, right? Like these zones have a presence to the people in the world. It's not like a biome in Minecraft or in Valheim where it just kind of seamlessly blends from one to the other. I want it to actually be distinct, and I actually put mountains around each one of these zones. So the edges and borders of these zones are there's a mountain range there, and then these white dots are the entrances into each zone. And right now I'm only generating like a radius of about this big. That's how big that is. Small radius for now. And I think this creates a really cool experience, and I'll try to show that with a better seed. But you know, in Minecraft or Valheim, you can just kind of like see the zone, you know, kind of just come up in the distance, and the zone doesn't have like a name, you know. NPCs aren't aware of the zone. They just kind of exist, right? It's just kind of there, right? It's not actually grounded into the world. We've got a nice little mountain there. But here's where we can start to see like the difference between zones. I don't have very many yet, but we can see two different textures here. It's the same biome, which is my forest biome, and there's the border mountains there. And I think there's a zone entrance chunk right here, because you can see where this mountain range, which is the border of the zone, you can see on either side different colors, but here's where that entrance is that you can actually get from zone A to B. And I still need to blend my textures. Not exactly realistic or anything. Not that I'm going for realistic. Not that I'm going for that. Yes, and then we have our NPCs. So here's a little bit of combat here. We'll do fireball, cast a dot on him. Okay, I'm gonna freeze him. No, freeze him, freeze. Hit him with a couple more fireballs. Melee attack, special melee attack. I can do like a... Well, he's just gonna die from a dot now. He's not supposed to be able to sprint and melee swing. That's not supposed to be a thing. He's cheating. Heal now. Started 3D level design on Unity. Now this shows up in my feed. Yes, yeah. Welcome to the YouTube Shorts algorithm. It works in mysterious ways. But I'll show you the AI generated quests here with this guy. This is Lenore Line. So I'm gonna have him join my colony. Welcome. Let's generate a quest. So Lenore Line is a 35-year-old female human warlock who is cruel but honest. Lenore had a privileged upbringing, but always questioned authority and sought forbidden knowledge. Their relentless pursuit of power led them to become a warlock, embracing the darker side of magic. Despite their ruthlessness, they adhere to a strict code of honor. So what's happening right now is it's probably already back, but I sent an API request to the Gemini API. because it's got a million context window and it's very, very cheap. So I just dumped my entire item database into the prompt. And I dumped every single, like, that background I just read, every character's got a background like that. So I dumped all those backgrounds and all the character names and what class they are, what level they are, you know, that kind of stuff. I dumped all that into the prompt. So the prompt was massive. And I generated a quest. So let's see what quest it is here. So the Grimoire of Silent Prayers. And I guess my name is Bardrick Silverbrook, so my character also gets a randomly chosen one each time for testing. Bardrick Silverbrook, isn't it? A rogue, I hear. Clever fingers and a quieter step than most. Skills I may find useful. I have a task for you. A delicate one, requiring discretion. There's a book locked away within the black archives of the Citadel of Whispers. It is titled The Grimoire of Silent Prayers. I require it. Retrieve it for me. What are the risks? The Citadel of Whispers is heavily guarded. The monks are zealous and their defenses are formidable. Capture is undesirable. Discovery even more so. What will you do with this grimoire? It's irrelevant to you, Bardrick. Your concern is retrieval, not application. And so there's some issues. One with my UI, and two, like, one of the dialogue options the AI responded to me with was tell me more about Brother Silas, which he has not mentioned yet. So the AI does not understand the flow of the dialogue very well with how I have it, because I have it just give me everything in a JSON object, JSON response. So it doesn't really understand it that well. Apparently there's some guy. He is vain and unpredictable. His weakness for fine wines is well known among the Citadel staff. He goes on a nightly stroll, but do not underestimate him. He is knowledgeable, even if gullible. And so here we have on the left the quest log entry. Like this is what will show up in your quest log. So the Grimoire of Silent Prayers, level 1, difficulty medium. It's level 1 because I'm level 1. Lenore Lina Warlock wants me to read the book called Grimoire of Silent Prayers from the black archives of the Citadel of Whispers. She mentioned that Brother Silas has a weakness for fine wines and could be manipulated during his evening stroll to lower the gardens near the my UI sucks. So yeah, that's like one such AI generated quest there. Oh, you're using WoW animations and icons. What game are you making? Yes, I'm borrowing them. So I'm making it's going to be an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain and AI generated quests. And what I'm showing here is dynamic tree chopping. So I chopped it up high, and now I can also chop it down low. And I got wood. I got 7 wood from that other one. 7 wood from that other one. And then, how much? I got 3 more wood from that. So it actually, these are static meshes, and then, you know, I suck at modeling. I'm not a 3D level designer. You know, I'm not a 3D artist. I was like, okay, I either need to do what other games do where they create a separate mesh for each stage of chopping, you know, like unchopped, half chopped, fully chopped. And I'm like, you know what? I could just use math and code to deform it for me. So eventually, it's just kind of proof of concept, but eventually I'll have it, the trees actually have health, and then they, you know, when they fall, they deal damage to me. They can deal damage to other trees when they fall. Axes will have stats. Axes will have stats that, you know, determine what kind of damage gets dealt to the tree and stuff like that. Eventually, that's what it's going to be. Any advice for upcoming 3D level designer? No, I'm not one myself, so I'm not sure that I have much advice for that. But I think there's a nice mountainous zone over here that I'd like to go check out. Oh, and here's a cool thing too here. I wonder if this tunnel. Oh, he's walking into the. So sometimes, you know, I was talking about the border mountains. They kind of block you from going from zone to zone until you can find like an entrance. Now, the other things you can do is you can build up the mountain and then build back down. There's a building system, so you can build stairs and stuff. Or you can dig through it. Or sometimes you can just find a randomly generated tunnel that'll go through it. This one doesn't seem like it goes all the way through it. No, it doesn't. It goes straight down. It goes straight down. So yeah, I don't want to do that. You don't want to fall there. Don't want to fall there. Let me get back out of here. But sometimes there's tunnels that go through the mountains, and it's just a really cool thing to stumble across, and you can get from zone to zone very easily. It's very nice. Very nice. Can you stop hitting assertions for me, please? Okay, my pathfinding just failed, like it always does. Thank you. Thank you. I need to essentially build from source and edit the Unreal Engine source code to actually fix that. I'm not sure what kind of assumptions they're making there, but or like I should say, I don't know why they're making the assumptions they are. The assumption they're making is that they're always going to get a best polygon nav mesh result, and it's frequently null for me. And it's probably because I'm using the nav mesh on such a large scale, which is not I don't think the way I'm doing things is very normal. Like, another thing about my game is that I want it to be online, like running, not online, sorry, that's a bad way to put it. I want it to be running, the entire world to be running. And so if you build a colony in one place and then you run all the way across the world, it's a large world, it's 15 kilometers large. I still want your colony to be running. Like, if you send guys out to go chop trees, I want them to actually have to run out there, chop the trees, bring the logs back, you know? Like, the physical distance matters, and I run them on background threads to do that kind of stuff. So it's very efficient. But if there's like a bandit or a wolf in the forest, I want them to get attacked by that, right? And I think that'll help make the world feel like really alive and stuff like that. See, okay, here's what I'm talking about. Look at this. You see this cave that just goes through these mountains right here? That's perfect. That's perfect. So we are in the Jubilee Gardens is what this zone is called. And we are looking into the Broken Coast, which is next to Shadowed Lake, the Land of the Dryads, Enchanted Lake of Serenity, Ember Mist Wilds, Redwood Forest, Ironvale Crater, Jade Serpent River, the Depths of Hell, just right around the corner. The Second Heaven, Amethyst Grotto, Lava Plains. Right now, these are all just like really random generated names for the zones, but eventually I'll be tagging and like coming up with attributes for everything that is in the zone. You know, what kind of mobs are in the zone, what kind of resources we have in the zone, what kind of terrain the zone has, you know, what the physical material makeup is, maybe how much caves there are. What I'm going to be spawning points of interest as well, so whenever I do that, I'll pass those in, and then hopefully the AI can come up with a really flavorful name, and then I'll take that name and then I'll be able to use that in the AI generated quest system I just showed off to be able to make those quests a little more flavorful. Because one thing I've noticed that's really weird, the Gemini API really likes to talk about the whispering woods, or like the whispering such and such. It's everything is whispering. It's very strange. It's very strange. If I pop out here, we can see the zone borders pretty clearly on this one. So here's the zone border right here, going over here, and yeah, my textures aren't blended, but they're different zones, and so there is no zone entrance on this end of the zone, but there are these caves that it looks like you can go through to the other side to get to the other zone. And so right now the zones are all pretty similar, but if you think about like a WoW zone, when you go from something, I don't know, why am I frozen now? I don't know. But if you think about like a WoW zone, when you go from something like Barrens to Ashenvale, Barrens is like an African savanna type zone. You go into Ashenvale, which is like an enchanted forest type zone. And it's this really drastic transition, but it's a really cool transition, and it creates this really nice sense of exploration. What is happening right now? What is happening right now? Unreal Engine is just not responding. Well, it did that right when I got to where I was trying to go. Some people might hate your game because you use AI. Well, I'm not going to use AI for like any assets or art or anything like that. And I think that's what people hate more, is the assets and art and stuff like that. I'm just using it purely text, just text. And it's not like purely AI either. I'm just going to rebuild. We're just going to rebuild. It's not just going to be, because like, I don't think a game will actually be fun. Like if I just did completely free-form AI where you can just like free input text to and from the NPCs, like I don't actually think that that's that fun. Like, I think that's interesting for a short amount of time, but it's not very gamey. It doesn't create like a fun game. Like I think you actually kind of have to put some level of constraint or friction against the player in order for it to be a game. If you just let them do whatever they want, it can be a fun little sandbox to play around in, but I think it very quickly becomes unfun. And so that's why I have like the predefined dialogue options. And so what I'll do with that is I actually want like a Baldur's Gate-esque like non-combat skill checks in the game as well. And the AI can give me the difficulties for the different skill checks, and I'll be able to pass in the social standings of each character in regards to each other character and the interacting player and the quest being generated for the player. Like, I think it'll be really cool. I have a lot of really fun ideas. And yeah, you know, some people might not want to play it, and that's fine. But I think the way I'm using it is quite... It's not disingenuous, right? Like, I'm not doing it to shortcut anything. You know what I mean? I'm doing it to increase the fidelity of the quests that are generated, right? Because, like, if you look at a game like RimWorld, which is kind of what I modeled some of my thoughts after, the quests generated in RimWorld are like very formulaic and procedural, which is what I would have had to do if I didn't have AI, right? Because my entire world is procedural. Like, it's all... That's the whole point of the game, is like replayability and stuff like that, right? So it's going to be RPG, Colony Sim, Roguelite. The Roguelite part is like very high level of replayability. And, you know, you're building colonies. Every run, you'll have different abilities to choose from, and you'll create different builds, different classes to pick from. Of course, I have none of this actually working right now, so take all that with a grain of salt. But the AI-generated quest will just increase that level of replayability, I think. And all I'm using it for is to add flavor to the types of quests that are generated, right? Like I was saying, RimWorld, very formulaic quests, very procedurally generated quests. Like, you very quickly learn what the quests are and aren't. And like, oh shit, I just fell. Okay. And yeah, the game does try to do a good job of like disguising that from you, and it does add some extra flavor there. I don't even know. Can I get up there? I don't even know. Oh, I can. Okay, I gotta build these stairs. But the quests very quickly just become things you don't even read because they're all samey and stuff like that. So I'm trying to avoid that a little bit, even though I know they will eventually end up being quite samey. I not get up here either. Yeah, see, I need to work on the terrain a little bit more for these kinds of situations. They become like not quite that navigable. And now my building system sucks too. Oh. There we go. This looks great, thank you. Oh my god, come on. Come on. Yeah, I've been working on this for quite a while now. Okay, just get on the stairs. Okay, yes. See, look at that. Look at that. That's a great procedurally generated picture right there. I'm actually gonna take a screenshot of that. That's nice. So what we're looking at here, like, this is all procedurally generated world. Here's me in this zone. This is the Jubilee Gardens. We're looking into the Broken Coast. Whispering Pines is right there. Shadowed Lake. The Isle of Skulls. Like, these names don't make sense yet. I will make them make sense. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. And I put borders around every single one of those. And so there's this border, this mountain range right here that defines the border between these two zones. And I found a cave randomly generated that went through. So that's like that'll create a really cool moment for the player. Like, also, this looks pretty sick, right? That looks pretty sick. If I do say so myself. Let's grab some mushrooms for the road. Nice cucumbers. We're gonna kill this guy. Is this your game? It is. So yeah, nothing interesting in the caves yet. I will be spawning ore down there. You know, very a la Minecraft, of course, right? I need to build more stairs to get up here, I think. I don't know if I can jump. That's super cool. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, welcome in, everyone. Good morning. I need to work on the building system a little bit more. The placements for these aren't super useful against the terrain. These are just my, like, dummy stairs. Is this voxel-based landscape or the usual? Neither. It is definitely not the usual. It is slightly... It's not inherently voxelized. the way I generate the landscape is with 3 different compute shaders. And so one of the compute shaders is a height map generator. And that creates basically everything you see on the surface. It creates the border mountains, the different zone terrain noises and stuff like that. It blends between chunks and stuff like that. The second compute shader I run is the 3D noise compute shader that has 2 different kinds of 3D noise. It has this noodle noise here. It creates tunnels. Then it has the cheese noise, which is there any cheese noise here? I don't know if I have any cheese noise here. Okay, here's some cheesy noise. But it creates these more blobular patterns, right? And that's a technique that Minecraft uses. Although theirs is quite a bit different, right? Here's some more blobs here. A few more blobs. Usually, sometimes they're bigger, so these are kind of small. It is Unreal Engine 5, yes. So that's my second compute shader. My third compute shader is a custom marching cubes algorithm. And that is a voxelized algorithm. So that does output voxels. Now, the way that the height map and the 3D noise connect together. So like this hole was punched, like the 3D noise like punches through the height map. And so that's how the custom marching cubes like connects together, right? And so when that happens, it does not, the way they connect together, it does not inherently line up with a voxel resolution. So it's like, yeah, it uses voxels, but none of the vertices are tied to a voxel. And I can show you that with the proof of concept of digging, if it works, because my animations suck. Of course it doesn't work there. Let me try down here. But with the deformable terrain, this should create like a little, so like, yeah, perfect. It looks terrible. It's just proof of concepted, but like that created a whole new set of vertices. It does not inherently align with a voxel. So it's like, yeah, I use some voxel techniques to generate the terrain. The terrain does not necessarily line up with the voxel resolution. I do everything on like a per vertex basis, right? And so even down to like the physical material of the terrain. So like each one of those, like I put a colored point on each vertex. So you can see here where the stone is, each vertex, you know, is gray. And the way that these line up, again, it doesn't necessarily line up to a voxel. So it's like, is it voxel? Yes and no, right? Yes and no is the answer to that. And so whenever where did I make that hole at? What I need to do is the reason that's that color is because it doesn't have terrain data yet. So now that I generated it, it filled it in with, apparently there was rock under there. So that's what happened. But when I actually like, you know, when I actually write the proper terrain deformation code, instead of just like, you know, blasting a little cone out of it, because that created so many vertices. Like you see all those vertices it created, like that's way too many, right? And you can see like the resolution of the world is like much lower than that. So I need to like do something that's closer to this. And you can start to see some of the voxels, you know, you can kind of see, the trained eye can see where the squares line up and stuff like that. So yeah, that's my TLDR on, is this voxelized? Yes, but actually no. Yes and no. Sir. Oh god, the pathfinding failed again. That happens so often. It happens so often. So yeah, we gotta rebuild there. We should probably build. I want to wait for at least 5.7 to come out, the next Unreal Engine version, because it's got nanite foliage in it. Thank you CDPR for that. Before I build from source, so I'm trying to kick that can down the road as far as possible, because I don't want to have to handle like merge conflicts and stuff like that when the engine updates. Since this rimworld based, would you colony get raided while you're away? Yes. Yes. And so how I'm thinking of like aligning that with the roguelite system is like, you know, when you level up, you get new skills every few levels or something like that. Okay, well here's a shitty seed. But when you die, you start over from level 1. But whatever you did in the world, like the world state is still the same. So whatever colony you built is going to be there when you get back. And I think I might do like a small static time skip when you die, so that like maybe your colony gets raided while you're dead. you know, or maybe, you know, you set your defenses up really well, so all your colonists are fine, and they've actually collected more resources for you. And so, you know, you have those resources to use when you get back. And so there's kind of a bit of meta progression there. I'll also have some, you know, currency earned that you can spend, you know, when you die, some form of meta progression somehow. Some form of meta progression somehow. But then also, like, while you're dead, your base might get raided and some of your colonists might die, right? How much is GUI versus scripting? It's probably like 80% C++. Does the terrain deformation work with nanite or lumen, or are you using both? So I'm using dynamic mesh components for the terrain chunks, and dynamic mesh components do not have nanite. And lumen is just lighting, so I haven't really like done any of my lighting settings, really. I haven't figured out what I wanted to do with that yet, so. These are all just like placeholder assets that I picked up for free, so this isn't even like the full... This isn't what the game's gonna look like, right? I'm still just working on like foundational functionality, right? So voxel loads for the height map. No voxels, it's just a height map. Like the voxel, yeah, the height map is a, it does have a resolution to it. Like a voxel is just a resolution, right? That's all it is. It's just a predefined unit of measurement is all a voxel is. Then the noise generator changes them to a mesh. I have been trying to build something similar, but learning game engine design, not game development. Yeah, it's difficult to wrap your head around, but essentially what happens is you'll get an array of vertices, and that's just the locations of all the verts for the terrain. And you'll also get an array of triangles. For me, that's what Marching Cubes outputs for me. And then you can take that data and you can build a mesh from it. So when you have the verts and then what order they should be connected in to form the triangles of the terrain, that's what a mesh is, right? That's all a mesh is. And so I can give those to the dynamic chunk mesh, and there's some built-in functions that I can just, you know, do that pretty easily. But also what I do, because I'm wanting to run the whole world at all times. You know, so you build a colony here. If you run all the way over to the other side of the world, you know, all the different colonies that are throughout the world, I still want to be running, right? And I can show that by looking over here a little bit. So you might think that some of these terrain chunks are just invisible, but they're not. They're actually just straight up deleted. Like I don't maintain the meshes here, but I do maintain that data that I was talking about, the vertices and the triangles, right? So why I save that is because you can store that in a bounding volume hierarchy. You can store the vertices in a bounding volume hierarchy, which is a spatial data structure. And what that allows you to do is really, really efficiently, essentially line trace through the data. And this is how collision works in game engines, right? They store it in some sort of spatial data structure. And so that way you don't have to iterate over every single triangle in the mesh to determine if a line intersects the triangle. You can just iterate through the local ones in whatever resolution you have your bounding volume hierarchy in. So that's what I do here. And PCG and Unreal Engine, usually you need collision for that. That's how it works. You need to do some sort of collision to put things onto the landscape or some other object. I don't have collision because there's no actual mesh here. But then how does PCG know that there's going to be terrain here? I built my own node to do that, right? I wrote my own PCG node that does line traces. It samples points. I rewrote the point sampler node to actually sample the spatial data structure that I have. This saves me memory, right? Because like running the whole world with procedural terrain, that's a massive technical challenge, right? Memory is my biggest bottleneck right now. I'm using 14 gigs of memory right now. That's an editor, so it's not the real thing, but I'll need to save all the memory I can is my point. And so me being able to sample this data that's not actually doing anything is one way that I'm doing that. And then also the shaded part that we're looking at, that's the nav mesh. So I can do the same thing with the nav mesh. And it actually has a really nice built-in function to where I can just give it the triangle and vertex buffers and just be like, you know, here's the nav mesh. And so I do that for everything. And this is how I wrote my own ECS system. That's how these guys are moving around in the world. And so let me see how many there are actually. Run the visual logger for a hot second here. Okay, stop. It's very laggy when I do that. Let's see. So I have about 1,000 guys spawned. Usually I have 1,000 to 2,000 people running. And that's just in this small section of the world. But they run on these invisible parts too, right? Like having the nav mesh here is how I move the guys around, and it all happens on the background thread. Like if they're not rendered, everything's on the background thread essentially. If they are rendered, then they are, for the most part, instant static meshes. They are vertex animated instant static meshes. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically, you have skeletal meshes and you have static meshes. Skeletal meshes are essentially just a bunch of static meshes connected together, and they're kind of expensive to animate because you have to move each bone, each component in the static mesh every frame, which can be a lot. That can be expensive to animate on the scale that I'm doing it at. So I can't do that. You know, you can't do that in Unreal Engine. They're just called, you just use an actor with a skeletal mesh, right? If I just use actors, I wouldn't be able to run 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 that I can now, right? And so they are vertex animated instant static meshes. And what that means is I've taken all the animations for those skeletal meshes and I've baked them into a texture. There's a built-in plugin to do that. And then what you can do, those textures, if you can have a material that takes those textures, and those textures have information on the animations, you know, where the bone positions are in each frame. And you can use world position offset to make them look like they're moving. Like these are just static meshes. Like I baked the skeletal mesh into a static mesh. They look just like actors now. When I get close to them, so you see how we just kind of, there's like one frame of flicker that I need to fix, and the shadow turns on. So now he's an actor. That guy's an actor. Now he's a static mesh. It's very hard to tell. It's very hard to tell. Like if I didn't tell you about it, I bet you wouldn't have noticed, other than the shadow popping in and out. And they don't have collision on them. So I had to write my own like velocity and gravity processor to move them around in the world and keep them on the terrain and make sure they don't just fall through the terrain and stuff. So I've basically rewritten a lot of the typical ways to do things in order to run the entire world at a time. What if it was lineage, i.e. you die and now you play as a kid and you can pass the skills through learned and X? Yeah, that's a cool concept. I think that's how like Crusader Kings works, right? If I'm not mistaken, I haven't played the game, but I think that's how Crusader Kings does it. This guy knows what he's talking about. Yeah, I've done quite a bit. I didn't know anything about Unreal Engine before this project, or C++ or game dev really. So it's been a massive learning curve for me over the past almost 3 years now. Almost 3 years. You making a private server? No, this is Unreal Engine. This is not. I know this looks like WoW because I have WoW icons, which apparently is all you need to look like WoW, but this is not WoW. I will give the icons back when I'm done with them. Don't worry. Don't worry. And so lately, let me see, is there a colonist around here that I can recruit? Yeah, here's a guy. Lately, I've been working on colonist tasks. Oh, Jesus. That was really weird. That was a really weird sequence of events there. And so I'm working on the kind of colony sim side of things. So I'm going to have this guy join my colony. And let me see if there's anything I can get you to do. Okay, there's a mushroom here. Well, here, there's a guy like right next to it. Perfect. Okay, join my colony. I can say things like go forage within a radius. We'll just do 10 meters. And so he found those mushrooms there. And so now he's going to walk over there and he can collect those mushrooms. Oh, and he's eating one right now too because he was hungry. But now if I look in his inventory, he should have at least... Did you eat both of them? What the frick, dude? God. Little chunkster over there. Oh, he just picked another one. Do you have that in your inventory now? He got hungry in the middle of his task, but he went back to doing the task. That's actually the first time I've seen that. Okay, now he's got 2 mushrooms in there. But now I can like take those mushrooms, right? So now I have the mushrooms. Or I can let him, let me see here. What I just got working yesterday. If I give him that, I can build like little containers for the colony. Just put a chest on the ground right here. Well, first of all, hey you, go construct. Oh, he's so hungry. He was about to go construct it, but then he started eating. Okay, let's go find some more mushrooms then. That's funny. But there should be some more mushrooms somewhere close by. I wonder, I'm just gonna tell this guy Did he construct that yet? No, he's still eating. Hey, you. We're just gonna have you forage. We'll just do in a 40-meter radius. He didn't find any. Okay, yeah, he did. Very similar in Crusader Kings 3, but I meant for your idea about dying and calling and continuing to proceed and the meta progress. Yeah, that's one way to do it. That's not what I'm going to go for the roguelites. I want you to play your character and be your character. Okay, where are we going, buddy? He's really trying to find some mushrooms, isn't he? Oh, there's some. Good job. Nice. Oh, those are like right outside. He got him though. They got him. Good job. Now where to? I wonder if that container got constructed. Let's see here. Hang on. So now I want you to haul your inventory. Uh-oh, is he stuck? No, he's going. See, the container got built, so now he's hauling his inventory. Put it in there. Did you do it? Nice. Yeah, look, now we have mushrooms. And then eventually what I'll need to do is when they get hungry, right now when they get hungry, they either use what they have in their oh shit, my bad. Sorry for the flashbang. When they get hungry, they either just eat something that's already in their inventory, or they just run around randomly searching for food in the world. Now they need to check colony storage here. And containers are one form of that storage. The other form is what I'm going to be working on today. And that's this little voxel algorithm that I wrote to like define areas, right? So when you're doing Colony Sim things, you might say like, hey, like chop trees in this area, right? You know, I have the allowed tasks that can be done in this area. If it's a store, if you can store things in this area, I have this like item hierarchy for like what's allowed to be stored here, you know? Change the color, we can make it nice pink. Say, hey, chop trees in this area, forage in this area, construct things in this area. Like if I put a foundation here, I can say, hey, construct within area 1. And so now he knows that that building is in area 1, and he should construct that. And that's just how you're going to give like one-off commands to the colonists. Like that's obviously not when your colony grows, it's not going to be a very efficient way to get people to do things. So there's also going to be like a job board, like a job queue type thing. And then also colonists will have individual priorities as well. Like all the colonists will have different skill sets that level up as well. Construction, cooking, foraging, crafting, you know, harvest, like plant growing, farming and stuff like that. Mining, all that stuff. So yes, I also want to treat those areas as stockpiles too, so you can store things like on the little individual voxels that were spun up there. I will mark them as like hidden, right? Devlog? No, just streams. I don't really do devlogs. Turns out creating videos is kind of hard. A lot of work. Who'd have thought? Very cool concept. Best of luck with it. Thank you. Thanks for taking the time to answer me. Yeah, of course. Thanks for stopping by. So yeah, I've been working on the colony tasks recently. I just like refactored like literally everything. This is the only devlog we get. Yeah, you just get streams. You just get streams. Maybe once I actually like get actual assets, I'll do something like that, you know, instead of like reusing WoW icons and stuff. We'll see, maybe. Mart or nah? Not yet. No CPP experience prior to starting, but I assume some form low-level language experience. I mean, I've been a software engineer for like almost a decade now, so I do know code. I know good codes. Best of luck for the game, dude. Thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, we got an archer. The archers actually kind of suck here. My cursor is bugged. It should not be this cursor. Engine? Unreal Engine. Unreal Engine 5. See how bad this animation is? I completely whiffed the tree. There you go. I'm a Unity guy. Yeah, I've tried out Unity. It's nice to get started, very quick to get started, but not having access to the source code is a big thing, a big downside. And of course, their pricing model is just dog water. So, and that whole debacle that happened. So, miss me with that. I also like having the ability to. What did I just click on there? Also like having the ability for visual scripting, even though I routinely say that I hate blueprints all the time. I do like the option. Like, it's nice for UI stuff, right? Nice for UI stuff. Noodles aren't so bad. Sounds like World of Warcraft sound effects. They are. They are indeed. I'm borrowing them. I will give them back. I promise. So, no, don't worry. They're just placeholders. They're just placeholders. So yeah, that's the world. That's the game. Yeah, right now kind of boring because it's all forest basically. This is a massive crater. Yeah, I need to increase the generation radius of underground chunks to actually account for some of these large caves. Oh, this one's cool. This one's cool because it seems really small. And you're like, oh, what's this little hole? And then it just like opens up into this massive cave. I think it'd be really cool to like peek down in here and then like see like a goblin encampment down there or something, you know? I think that would be, or like a fucking Balrog, you know? I think that would be sick. So yeah, that's the game. That is me showing off the game for about an hour. I need to work on some inventory things so that I can continue working on... Are we going to fail here? Yeah, we're going to fail here. Okay, we'll rebuild. That's okay. That's okay. Are you making a game or is this already a game? I am making a game. The game is called My Project. But I'm going to work on, like, I did some inventory stuff yesterday to help with the hauling tasks so I could test it easier. So I'm going to continue doing that. I'm going to work on, I think, no, I don't think I'll need. I think I'm going to do, like, shift click to, like, split the stack, you know what I mean? Well, I also need to handle merge stacks, which I guess I can do after shift. So we're going to be doing some blueprints today. So on drag detected, I'm going to need to understand what modifiers are held down, if any. And I did find an F modifier info, so I'm just going to do a quick search. Unreal Engine. Modifier info? Is that a thing people use? I mean, I just have like an is shift down, right? Somewhere. Change target is shift down. It's on my character. I should at least have that on the controller. Why did I do that? Oh, I also just put shift on there. Yeah, I wonder if I should just like, yeah, let's just maintain a local one here. Should I do that on each tooltip? Probably not. That feels like overkill. Maybe I'll do that on the parent inventory of the item. Well, but then I'll have to do it for the... I'll have to do it for the. Well, no, I'm not gonna do it for the character sheet, the character panel, because when would you be splitting stacks there? So it's only for inventory, only for inventory. So input action shift. What? Is that it? There we go. There it is. Okay. Triggered action value. So probably, yeah, we probably want triggered, right? Let me look at how I use this. Triggered. Ah, yes. Yeah, so we want this. Triggered, and then on completed, we mark it as not that. Create that variable. I guess that's all I need. I guess that's all I need there. What is this? What are you saying to me? It'll automatically update, but it must be true. Hello? Why can't I use the input thingies on here? Is there some setting I need to use for this? Or can you just not bind? Can you not bind to input actions from a UI widget? Well, that's kind of annoying. In that case, I will probably have to get it from like the player or something. Okay, so the player can select the amount you want to split into. I think the UI for that is kind of complicated and maybe not worth it. I'll definitely think about something like that, but I feel like that kind of thing just makes it more confusing to use. What I was planning to do is just hold shift to get half the stack, and then you can control click to grab one. Like, so you can control click a bunch of times if you want. But I understand that there's going to be like some very specific stack sizes you may want. So maybe alt click does a UI like that or something. But I'm not worried about that right now. That's like a pretty advanced use case, right? I'm just gonna handle the easy ones. But yeah, how do I use an input action in? I guess let me search here. Unreal Engine input action in UI widgets. Is that possible? It's kind of telling me there's an error. How to get enhanced input to work on UI widget. There you go. All right, answer. Okay. So it's like we did a different solution. Okay. I can do the on key down, right? Or is there an override like on key down, on key up? I just don't know if I want to like hard code the shift modifier, because when you use like controllers and stuff, it's going to be a different button. That's what the input actions are for. Is your inventory on the player or stored in the level? On the player. So it would be just whoever owns the UI is the shift that I would want to get. Did I close out of that? Oops. How to use an enhanced input in widget. Yeah, it should definitely be in the player controller, not the player. Yeah, I definitely fucked up there. Bind, so he's doing it in C++. Is not what I want to do for this. How do I handle action mappings in a UMG widget? That does not, this is not the same as what I'm asking. Natively intercepting remapping actions in another can of worms, though.
I
don't know, so it doesn't sound like anyone actually uses the input actions in widgets. Okay, you know what? I kind of just want to like, let's just throw like an on shift. Isn't there an event for this? Like I know there's the on key down. Input event. Okay, yeah, is there a shift? Input event shift. Debug key left, oh, here we go, left shift, okay. Pressed, released. So we're just gonna do that for now. Left control as well. And so let's do I'll duplicate this and call this is control down. So we're just gonna do this for now. What? I deleted it. I deleted it, please and thank you. Clear. Wait a second. Is it still doing that? No. Okay, hang on. Was that just an old message? It was. Okay, so we're just gonna fucking do that then. Okay. Get out of here. Get out of here. Well, there was an old message. You can tell I don't use blueprints very often. I don't know if I don't think I have a input for control, specifically for control. Do I? I may need to create that. Input actions is key down trigger. What is this? Wait, what did I do this? What did I do for this? What is this? Did I make this? Where's find reference viewer? Yes. Nothing uses this. I don't build from source yet. I will though. I will. There are some things that I need to fix in the engine for me. Can I use this? Can I use whatever this is? This key down trigger. Modifier key. Yeah, when does this input trigger? Base class for building triggers. I don't remember creating that class. Although it sounds like something that would be really nice to use. Where is the update? Okay, this function checks if the yeah, I guess that's the comment I already read. How do I do I need to register this with something? Or what? Because it's just a U object, so how do I actually use it? How do I actually use this? Unreal Engine input trigger event. Input triggers explained.
Imagine being able to build an...
Every ad is like AI now.
The 9 different types of input triggers found in
oh, that's like... Oh, that's like one of those? Hang on. So does that one show up in there? So you can create like a new one of these.
And depending on how we use an input trigger, it can...
Okay, that's not what I thought it was. Okay, that's not what I thought it was. Do I use that? I still don't know that I use that. Let me look at the input mappings I have here. Yeah, it shows up in there. Okay, that makes sense. Is key down, and then you add the modifier key. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I get what that's for now. Yeah, I need to create a new one of these for control. Yeah, and it's a manual. We're gonna manually do it. Basically, manually name it, I should say. Left shift, right shift. I guess we can do right control as well. And then there's also, I have crouch on a separate one, so you can bind that differently. And I don't want that to consume input or anything. Okay, so I think that should be fine. Okay, let's go back to save that. I think that's fine. Go back to the item slot here, or the inventory here. So we have shift, IA, control. Wrong one. There we go. So we'll do control down, same here. Come on. My comment, please. I got a doubt. Do we need internet for build? If yes, can we access the engine without internet and without logins? Is it? I mean, if you have the engine downloaded, you don't need internet to run it. I'm not 100% sure of what you're asking, but you would need internet to download it. Yeah, I do think you'd have to log into something or other Epic related to get access to the source code, even if you build from source. You don't need the internet to run the engine. But I think, don't you have to get added to like a GitHub organization to see the source code as well, which would require your account information? Maybe they don't do that anymore. That was a thing at some point. Anyways, on drag detected. I'll need to grab the parent and grab the, which is anchor now, which is like not, I should not be using anchor for this, but we're gonna fucking do it anyway. Cast inventory is control down. It is shift down. Okay, so we have this. And so the payload, I'll need the quantity on there now as well for the payload. I'll open up the payload. Expose on spawn. Okay, so this is where we'll need to come up with the quantity. Sorry for disturbing you. No, you're good. I just wasn't quite sure what you were asking. Okay, so if it is control down, so we need to like, let's do a select. I wish I had a, I think we'll need two selects here. Which one should take precedent? If you have both held down, which one should take precedent? I don't know. If is control is down, quantity, but if you control click again, if you control click again, how would I get that to work with this drag and drop system? I might need to do a click event as well. Detect drag if pressed. Yeah, I wonder, does this fire... Let's see if this fires multiple times if I keep clicking. I don't think it will. Yeah, you do have to click and drag. You do have to click and drag. Yeah, so control click. Detect drag if pressed. How would I, because I think you have to actually move the mouse button for this to work. For the built-in stuff to work. No, I'm planning to switch to Unreal. I got the source code already from GitHub. After build, do we need login and internet? No, you can run. No, you can run the engine without internet or logging in. But I mean, you can probably just run it now and see for yourself. At this point, sounds like you got the source code and everything. Show me the code for this. Detect drag. Detect drag, native reply. If a drag is detected, it will send an event. I don't actually see the logic for, like, handled? Yeah, where's the actual logic for the drag part? Me? What is me? Return a... It's like the new this. It just returns a reply, so I'm not sure, like, where's the actual... Where's the actual code for, like, determining the drag part? Given the pointer event, emit the detect drag reply if the provided key was pressed. If the drag is a touch key, that will also automatically work. But it didn't actually call the drag detected until I started moving my cursor. I had to click, hold it down, and move. We're gonna start debugging here. Okay, all I did was click here. And drag key is left click, right? Left mouse button, yeah. What is this, pointer event? Affecting button is the left mouse button. I mean, yeah, this isn't going to show me anything I don't already know, though. This is a static function, so there's no inheritance being weird here. native reply. This is usually, that's an F reply. So we didn't get there. Is that what I'm learning? We didn't get there. Oh, is this the inheritance part? Hang on. What is native reply here? What is native reply? Where is it? You reply base. Am I blind? I can't see native reply. Oh, that is, hang on, that is the native reply. Native reply. Detect, yeah, I don't know what the fuck this is doing. This is not going in there. I'm not hitting that breakpoint. Yeah, it doesn't work on just click. You have to click and drag. What other replies are there? I don't wanna, I could find usages, but that's gonna be like, there's gonna be so many. Yeah, there's so many. Just stop. Drag and drop? No, I mean, that's like a... The drag drop event, pointer event. I needed to work on click and not just on click drag. I wonder. Detect to drag. What other detect to drags are there? Search for it in header files. I don't see any other like replies that could be overriding that. Handle, left mouse button, on, mouse button down. On called when slate detects that a widget start to be dragged, a widget can on mouse down reply. Either send on drag detected event or do nothing. If the user releases a mouse button or leaves the widget before the drag is triggered. I didn't think that this part would be that hard. I guess I didn't think about the built-in system not being able to handle this. How does it usually work in games? You like shift click. Because control click I would need multiple, but I think maybe let's not do the multiple for now. Maybe let's not do the multiple. We won't worry about control for now. Just to keep being productive. And so we want to go on drag detected. Back into here. So we're just going to worry about on shift down. So I want half rounded up, I think, quantity wise. So I need to... Where is my inventory? The actual inventory. Well, the item works. That works. So item, get quantity. multiply by 0.5. Change that to a float, please. Multiply by 0.5 and then round. No, we want a ceiling. So we return that as an integer. So is shift down. We return that. Otherwise, just return the full quantity. So we're gonna slot that in here. Oh, I already have a cast 2 inventory. Wonderful. Okay, so we're gonna plop that in there. Refresh that so the quantity shows up and we can just fit that in. Okay, give me 1 second, BRB. Apologies, I am back. Had to rescue my girlfriend from a treadmill that wouldn't turn off. Anyways, yeah, so we have the quantity logic here. And so now I just need to on drop wire that quantity up, I think. Should already have like a place for that. Yeah, quantity here. Now, I also want to do something else as well. Where's the payload? Drag drop payload. Get QT. Get QTY. Could you do a class or blueprint node that is stateful and changes state on key down and key up, then use/check the state of that node object, set var to enum or something like that? Yeah, that's another way to do it, and I kind of have that already, but rather than just on a U object, like you need to attach it to a specific, you know, like for multiplayer and stuff. Like it would need to be either just existing on one client or on the UI or, you know, something or other. But I have something like that just on my player character. It shouldn't be on the player character. It should probably be on the player controller. Controller is probably where that should be. But yeah, I will probably do something like that eventually. I'm just doing like quick and dirty right now. Quick and dirty. So we have quantity wired up there. Another thing I want to do is I set the icon, right? I thought I set the icon somewhere to like empty. Do I not do that? Let's look at this. No, I don't set the icon to empty. I want to on a regular drag to show you that you're moving it, right? So let's do that. So on drag, we are going to basically if this quantity, let's do this. If this quantity is not equal to the item quantity, then we are going to set the icon, set item icon. If it's not equal, yeah, we set the icon to null, basically. Let me just, hang on, give me a sequence. Where's the sequence? And this is backwards because now that's not going to. There we go. What? The icon's not null. What the frick? That didn't work. That item icon. If they're not equal, oh no, I did it the wrong condition. That's probably why that didn't work. Oh, there you go. Oh, but it's also, oh, I see I see the issue. Okay. It's also setting the, because it's making a copy of the widget. Ah, okay. So I'm not going to do that. To do make this work. Okay. Beautiful. I wanted to either show it or not show it. Because like when I shift click, split item. Yeah. Quantity 100. So did this work? The new item now. Where's your quantity at? It's 100. Where's the current item? This quantity 100. So yeah, it split it properly there. But yeah, okay, so the split worked. Perfect. I just need I kind of need it to create a new widget actually. A new slot. And now we can split. Hello. Because it doesn't, when I shift click, it doesn't look like I've split it, right? See if I can merge. Uh-oh. Merging didn't work. Okay. Let's check out why merging didn't work. On drop. Oh, I need to do the equipment as well. Equipment panel. We might just be doing UI today, honestly. I don't know if I'll have time to actually get into the world items. Dragging out payload from inventory to item inventory item to move. Trade item, 2 slot index. So the answer lies in this function somewhere. Oh yeah, I was swapping incomplete items that weren't the same, right? Somehow broke that from compiling. Compiling during runtime. Okay, so I want to... We can swap, we can do that. Then I can't... Oh, I can stack, yeah. I can stack. But if I do, I can't shift stack. I see. So that's the... Yeah, so there's another condition here I'm not handling, so... Swap with item. If they are the same... Well, this should be getting hit, right? That should be getting hit. Yeah. Swap with item. It has 175 in it now. Uh-oh, we may be out of sync here. Quantity 25. Oh, I've already done the swap. It was 50. Oh no, I think it is out of sync. Okay, let's hang on. Let's restart this. Because yeah, those quantities do not reflect what I'm seeing on the actual objects. Oh, it's because I'm not doing an inventory. Yeah, I'm not doing a broadcast event here, so we need to do an else. From inventory. Update on inventory. Can I just is this public? It is, okay. So this is I'm gonna say manually broadcast inventory update. So I think it did actually work. We just didn't refresh the inventory at all. We didn't add /remove in any item. Since I'll say only changed existing items. Okay. Run live coding there. Okay, just started dipping my toes into UE and wrapped my head around the blueprint thing. Digging your workflow endgame looks right. Thank you. Yeah. Happy to explain more or answer any questions you may have. I'm not super happy with my own like when to and when not to use blueprints flow right now. It seems like a fuzzy line to draw in the sand that doesn't seem like anyone really has a good answer of when you should or shouldn't and what you should use blueprints for or C++ for. The general consensus is quite generic, I'll say. Okay, so I should have 250 in my hand right now. Okay, it did not update. However, it did refresh, so hang on. Oh yeah, I didn't hit that breakpoint. I didn't hit that breakpoint. Swap items. So wait, what are this is God, I have so many conditions here. This is, what condition is this? Swap stack item. Can't swap incomplete items that aren't the same. I'll say partial item. can't swap a partial item that isn't the same as the target. And then this is just swap two items. Swap two items. Stack item into another. This is just moving an item. Move an item. So move an entire item because the quantity is equal. And then what is this? This is just move partial item. Move partial item into empty slot. I'll say move entire item into empty slot. Okay, so now I've kind of enumerated all those conditions. And honestly, let's put the returns here. Okay, live coding on that while we figure out what's happening here. That was move. What was that? Move. That should have been stack item into another. And I'm just going to continue to comment this. Moved entire item and this is like moved partial item. Moved partial item. Moved partial item, remove old one, old empty one. Moved partial item. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, live coding again. Okay, let's restart here. And so I need to like move a partial item into another partial item. We have 500 and 500. If I shift click into that, why didn't that hit the breakpoint? Stack item into another. Yeah, nothing happened there. Did we hit that false there? Which condition did we fucking hit? yeah, just fucking breakpoint all of them, I guess. What the hell is happening here? Are we hitting this? Oh yeah, okay. No, that makes sense. Yeah, the wood is not the wood is not supposed to be stacked that high. So a swap actually should happen, right? Wait a second. Okay, there's another condition here I think I'm missing. So the max wood stack size I think is like 20, but I just set quantity to 1000 just for testing, so that's why I can't stack those properly. But there's another condition here I think that I'm missing, which is I just lost it. What was it? It was, yeah, if there's no space. So if they're the same, if they're the same and you're moving the entire stack, right? Does that work? Yeah, so let me see here. Let me get to a different one. Does that swap? No, it stacked it. But if you do it with a full one, what happens? And I don't know, I don't have that. I guess I can do this, right? Yeah, that should swap, and it's not. Because we're hitting... which one are we hitting? We're hitting that. If remaining quantity space equals 0... Yeah, there's a condition here. If there is no remaining quantity space, and they're the same, they should swap. So I should do something like this. And then it'll fall through to just swapping the two items. I'll say, if there is space, stack as many as possible. Otherwise, this will fall through to swapping the two items. To swap two items case. I think that's the condition there, I think. Yep, we got to the swap two items. Great. Nice. Okay, we got that condition working. And we can stack, and everyone's happy. Oh, okay, it's working great. Working great. This trade items function has grown significantly in complexity. Significantly. Now, what I want to do, yeah, I need to create a new widget when I move it. For some reason it doesn't, yeah, always round up. Yeah, okay, this is the, when I'm dragging a split item, that's the, oh, that one worked. Okay, I'm holding shift 1. Okay, yeah, so we dragged the final one. Make sure we didn't create any extra ones. Nope, we're still at 200, okay. Okay. Yeah, so for some reason the drag is off a little bit. Like it doesn't, like, you see that? I can't drag into that one now. I don't know why. Nice. Okay. I think that's working. Now, I guess I need to test how this works with other people's inventories. Join me. Show me your inventory so I may stack things into it. Nice. Wait. Oh, I copied it. Oh shit. Oh no, I didn't. I just didn't update it. Interesting. Right. So that would have been... What would that have been? I can sense New World dupe bug. So far it's working great. I'm just not updating the... I wonder if I should just at the end trigger an inventory update broadcast so that the inventory can re-render. I should just always do that. But then, like, some of these already have it baked in there. I mean, I just tested, like, the duping, right? Like, I was fully expecting my rounding to, like, accidentally create a new one. Like I was expecting 200 arrows to be, or 201 arrows, or something like that, or 199. But yeah, dude, those New World dupe bugs were wild. That like completely ruined the game when on launch when that happened. That was crazy. But I think that was mostly, I think that was in response to network events, if I remember correctly. It wasn't just like inventory transfer, which all of that would need to happen over network, right? So this would have been move partial item into empty slot. That would have been the case there. And so I didn't broadcast an update here. So else, oh, we just need to from inventory broadcast an update because yeah, I mean, I kind of want to manually just do it at the end, you know, for every case. I think that would be easier to understand reading the code, and it would catch everything. It would just be a little bit of unnecessary UI cycles, a little bit of unnecessary UI stuff, but it's not that impactful. Okay, see, now they updated. Stack it in there. Oh, okay. So that didn't work. Oh, right, because they're full stacks. Yeah. I need like an error sound when I hit false. It needs to make a dun or something, you know, some dun sound. Why did I say it like that? Oh, interesting. Ah, it didn't update. When I stack into it, doesn't update it. See, it updated there. Yeah, let's just do this, because there's just so many scenarios here. But I'm returning everywhere, so I can't just do it at the end, can I? So I think that's what it would need to be. You know, there's only one person's inventory. I only need to update this. So it's always going to do extra updates. So yeah, maybe I should. We'll see here. So that was what, stack into. Okay, now it updates. Yeah. Okay, so what happens when we should swap these two, right? Yeah, okay, it swaps in inventory now. Nice. Hi, what are you cooking? I'm cooking some inventory updates here. We're doing like split stacking and transferring in inventories and handling all the different conditions therein. What is there a condition I haven't checked here? I think this is working now. What about stack an entire? Have I tested stack an entire item into another inventory? Why won't you let me do that? Oh, because oh, I found a bug here. The slot is the same index, but it's in two different inventories. But it is two different inventories. So that makes it not a valid place on drag over. If they're equal. And there's an additional. And is dragged item slot and the from inventory. I guess get from actor. That also needs to equal. Which, what do I do as the from actor? Was it like a git owner? Git. What do I set that to? Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's super annoying. Okay, anchor needs to be... I'm just going to change that to parent inventory. Because that's what I'm using it for now. And then also, let's just change that to... it can't be a parent inventory because I'm also using it for the equipment component. Shit. Okay, so let's just call this parent widget. Then parent widget then. Git owner is equal. Put that in there, put that in there. The noodles are getting a little uggo. From actor, so put that one in there and that one in. Jesus. Actually, should we do this? Here we go. Okay. Okay. It's looking a little cleaner. A little cleaner. Okay. So I think that was the condition there. I didn't think it would have blocked. I thought that was just for highlighting. I wouldn't have thought that would have blocked the actual trade from happening. Move that over there. Okay, now it can work. Whereas before, it's the same slot in both inventories. There we go. Yeah, okay, so I think we're all set there. I think it's fully working. Okay, back to the list. Right click to transfer. Right click to transfer. Do I want to do that? I basically need to check if there's two inventories open on right click. Otherwise you use the thing. Right? Now do I trigger that from... Where do I trigger that right click from? I know there's a use item function that I have. Called from HUD. Use inventory item. How much of a pain would it be to do something like a SQL DB where each inventory type is its own table and it has a foreign key pointing the object its own and the entity that owns its inventory? Yeah, so you wouldn't want to do that for 99% of games. Now, I have actually tried to use SQLite in Unreal Engine. I got it working, but it was so fucking slow. It was too slow for gameplay. So the only reason you'd want to do the SQL database is to store the state after the server shuts down in a multiplayer game. For everything else, it needs to be loaded into memory in order to work fast enough. So the only types of games that's worth it for are like, like MMOs and stuff. Or John Cena! Welcome in!
Why are you running?
Thank you for the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Let's look at the game. How was your stream? Tell us about what you were working on today.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Rabbit raid. Hell yeah.
Got him. What the dog doing?
What the dog do? I got a little bunny rabbit living in my backyard. And it's got a little baby bunny that runs around too. It's the most cutest thing. I almost ran over it with a lawnmower. And I was so happy I didn't. He's okay. He got scared shitless though. But yeah, they're fine and good. They show up on my on my camera at nighttime. Welcome in everyone. Good morning. I hope you had a good stream. The bunnies are fine. The bunnies are fine and well. My dogs are very curious about them, but my dogs are about the size of a bunny too, so the bunny's not very scared of them at all. This is my game that I'm working on. This is my procedural terrain. I'm working on an RPG Colony Sim Roguelite combo. And what that means for me is something like, think vanilla WoW in terms of lots of classes to pick from, lots of abilities to pick from, lots of talents. Plus the combat of vanilla WoW. So kind of tab target. I want to do something a little bit more interactive than just purely tab target. But so think vanilla WoW classes and combat, class design as well. Plus RimWorld Colony Sim, which if you don't know, RimWorld Colony Sim, you know, you can build a base, you can recruit these colonists. The colonists have different traits and skills like construction, cooking, mining, that kind of thing. And you got to keep them happy. They have mental breaks. They have relationships between each other, right? If their wife dies, they fucking get upset and they have a mental break, and they might go punch a mortar shell, which you inconveniently stored next to your chem fuel, and it might explode your entire base and catch everything on fire, killing your other colonists as well. So that kind of, and your base gets raided. You need to defend. There's other factions. So I want to do that kind of stuff as well, but in a third-person RPG. And pair it with a roguelite. And so think something like Hades, right? Been a great stream. Did some houses. Tried to do some LD as well. Level design? I think. Hope you're well too. I am well. How's the game going? It's going great. Just got done with a pretty big refactor to my colonist task system. So now we're working on iterating on those tasks a bit more. So what I've been working on recently, let me find a colonist here. Come here, you. Okay, who is this? Who are you? You are Isolde Drake. Join my colony. I need you to go pick some mushrooms for me so I can show the people what I've been working on. Yes, go get that mushroom. Thank you. Actually, hang on. Well, I'll let you pick that one. And then, can you forage some more for me within, say, a 20-meter radius? Okay, so while he's working on that, I'm going to put a little chesty chest down here. And I'll have him build the chest, too. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Isolde, where are you? There he is. Okay. Okay, yeah, grab that mushroom, grab that mushroom. Okay, now he's going to construct. Oh, he's gonna try and put it in the storage. Oh, did he actually? Oh my god, I didn't even mean for that to happen, and it worked. That's crazy. Did you guys see what just fucking happened there? Okay, so usually there's a separate, like, constructing task. There's a separate constructing task. So I can say, like, construct anywhere, and he's gonna go construct that foundation. And so what I do with the foraging task is, like, he usually has, like, an inventory. Right? He's got this inventory that I can, like, put stuff in. And then I can say, hey, haul your inventory. And he's gonna go put that in the colony storage. So now the arrows are there. And so we've been working on this inventory functionality here. But what happened there that was so fucking cool was that I auto queue up a haul task after the forage task, so that he goes, he forages, you know, and this could be for things like tree chopping or mining or hunting or whatever. Like, you want to go do the thing and then you want to bring the stuff back to the base, right? And so I auto queued that up. And so he recognized that there is and I guess I don't do any sort of, like, when I check for valid storages, I don't check if it's built or not. And so he just went and interacted with the construction building. And because it wasn't built, the interaction defaulted to construct it. And the haul task, it, like, has status updates, like the interaction, like the state tree is like colony state, colonist state tree. There we go. So the interact state, like, it has, like, these status updates baked into it. And then this haul task was responding to those and saying, hey, I still have stuff to haul, keep trying. And so it just kept interacting with the chest, which actually just meant that He constructed it and then put his items in it, which is actually kind of crazy that that worked flawlessly. That worked flawlessly. So I'm very proud of Isolde. Isolde, very smart colonist there. Very smart. Little smarty pants. But yeah, that kind of stuff is what I've been working on. I have construction, I have foraging, and now I have hauling as well. And I've been working on just like inventory things, like shift click to split the stack, you know, combine the stacks, swap items. So that's what I was working on a little bit today. Yeah, here's my procedural world. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. Here's my map. Where are we? We are in the Enchanted Lake of Serenity, which is supposed to be a desert, so that doesn't really make sense. We are right next to the Serpent Spire Mountains, Icevale Refuge, the Witch's Hut, Phantom Glow Abyss, Ironclad Peaks, Labyrinth of Mirrors, Stormwreck Coast, Blood Driver Gorge, Pale Peak Mountain. So I'm going for very like high fantasy themed stuff, and none of those zones actually look like that, right? I only have like 2 different biomes and a few different terrain noises. The sandbox name, can he build something like a bit? Yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, so I have a bunch of different stuff here. Like we have these create some foundations here. So who are you? Don't care. Just join my colony and get to work, please. Welcome aboard. So yeah. Oh, I guess I need to... Oh, yeah. Construction isn't working. Let me put some wood in there for him. Okay, I'll actually... Hang on. I actually need to, like, put the wood in there. So he doesn't understand that yet. So that's something I'll need to work on. So can you, retry that? Sir? He's stuck. Okay, so don't interrupt the construction task is what I'm learning. There we go. There we go. Now he's doing it. Yeah, he doesn't understand. Let me write that down. Colonists don't understand that building blueprints don't have applied resources. And I guess I didn't do that because I need the hauling task to work, right? So he should actually, like if I were to create a little chest and put some wood in there, he should understand to go pick up the wood, right? If I put this wood in there, he should understand to go pick up the wood and put it in there. And then I'll be working on, I think, probably tree chopping is next for the colonists. I have dynamic tree chopping, so the trees chop wherever the axe connects at. Runtime edit the mesh, which I think is pretty cool. So I got wood from each of those. I got 11 wood. So yeah, I'll send some guys to tree chop, and then they need to... Oh, I totally broke my... The mantling settings on my character are... Hello, sir. Do you mind? Do you mind? I'm fucking chopping a tree here. You almost got your head taken off, bro. There we go. But yeah, eventually they'll chop trees, and then they'll need to haul that to storage too. And then, you know, of course, the constructors would need to use that. He's stuck right now, so that's fine. That's you're doomed to a fate of staring at that foundation, it seems. So yeah, we got the underground caves, we've got the overhangs, the concavity, which creates, you know, so many fucking issues, but it's really cool. It's really cool. Eventually I'll have ore spawn down here to mine. That'll be a whole saga, a whole thing. I have somewhat destructible terrain. Excuse me. I have somewhat destructible terrain. Proof of concepted. It doesn't work well. Might not work at all, actually. Yeah, these aren't working. Let me try this. No, that's not working. I don't. It only works in like a certain direction, it seems. I don't have the rotations working correctly. But DP Dev, Cyberthinker, thank you for the follows. Welcome in, everyone. I also want the digging to respond differently to the different. It should be deforming the terrain, but again, it doesn't work well. It doesn't work well. I want it to respond differently to the different terrain types. Like this is dirt, right? You'd expect. There we go. There's a deformation. But you'd expect dirt to respond differently than stone. So yeah, it deformed. It deformed. It actually changed the. The pickaxe anim is the best, yeah. It's a homemade. That's a homemade My Drunk special right there. Like, you see how many verts that created in comparison to, like, the resolution of the terrain. Like, bad. I don't need that. I don't need that many verts. Doesn't look good. Also, then I need to regenerate the... Yeah, so it looks like there was like rock underneath there. So yeah, we'll need to handle that. We'll need to handle that. We can do a little bit of combat too here. Oh, I froze my own guy on accident, dude. Sorry. Sorry, bro. Oh god, he juked me right there. What is this? Oh my god, the navigation... Dude, this is happening more and more often, but I do have like 2,000 entities spawned, so I suppose that makes sense. I've said this before, but I need to build from source to fix that issue. Like, this is a pretty deep in the engine issue that I need to fix. Slave sim. Yeah, the children do yearn for the mines. They do. They say they don't, but they do. So we'll definitely have some child labor, of course. You can't have a colony sim without child labor, right? I mean, that's what empires are built on. Or so I'm told. Hello, please. Hello? Okay, we did build. There it is. There it is. And so the flow of the game for me is going to be something like, you know, you start at level 1, you pick a class. Start at level 1, each class has like a bunch of unique abilities to choose from, and then every few levels you'll get to pick a new ability from like 3 random abilities, and then you'll start to kind of create a build as you level through the game and explore the world. And then when you die, you'll start over at level 1, right? So you'll have new random abilities the next run. Hopefully there'll be enough that every run will be different to some extent, right? In terms of the class design and stuff. And then as you're running through the world, you can recruit colonists, you can build a colony, you know, you might find like a really good blacksmith, right? So if you die and restart, your colony's still going to be there, the world state's still going to be the same. And I might do a small time skip when you die, like a static time skip, to where we'll try and do seed here, to where, you know, your base might get attacked while you've been dead, right? You might get attacked, or maybe your base just has a bunch of resources now because you haven't been around for a little bit. 3 abilities, kind of like Vampire Survivors. Yeah, I like, you know, or like Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, you know, the Survivors games. Yeah, kind of where that idea came from. But then, like, when you come back to your colony, you know, you have that really good blacksmith that you got. He can make you better gear now. You have a bunch of resources now, so there's like a meta progression there that kind of naturally fits together. And so that's kind of the flow of the game. And so you have these procedural worlds. This is supposed to be ocean, so I'll need to do a lot of managing of this world map, because not all world maps are equal. We're in Watchtower Peaks. Then I have AI-generated quests as well. This guy's name is Xenon Sunstone, and then I used AI to generate like a bunch of like character backgrounds and stuff and just threw them into a database. But I'll go ahead and generate a quest. But while that's generating, let's read about Xenon Sunstone here. 32-year-old male dwarf paladin who is stubborn and dumb. Oh, I love this. I love this. That's so good. I think I got this the other day too. Xenon had a normal childhood, growing up in a loving and supportive family who always encouraged his adventurous spirit. But in his adulthood, despite lacking intelligence, Xenon makes up for it in an unwavering bravery and dedication to his friends. Oh, so nice. So nice. Okay, what quest do you have for me, Xenon? And my name is Bardrick Silverbrook, I guess. So he says, Bardrick Silverbrook, eh? Good to meet you. I've got a bit of a situation, you see. And frankly, my brain isn't quite big enough to handle it all myself. Brave, yes. Smart, less so. It's about the shrine of Everlight, just outside Oakhaven. See, it's gone dark, completely and utterly dark. These flames are out, the chanting has stopped, and Old Man Hemlock, you know, the caretaker, he's gone missing. Of course, a paladin of my standing can't stand for this. Darkness must be vanquished. However, I'm not exactly the stealthiest fellow. I might scare away whatever's doing the darkening. So here's the job. Sneak into the Shrine of Everlight, see what happened to Hemlock and why the light's gone out. Less frightening, more peeking and listening. Savvy? Come back and tell me what you find. I'll be waiting right here. And be quick about it. The longer the shrine stays dark, the worse it'll be for Oakhaven. And so we got the Dusk at Everlight, part 1. So it's a chain quest. I actually gave the AI the ability to create chain quests. And basically what I do there is I just like, I dump my entire item database into a prompt. I put every character that's spawned in the world along with all of their backgrounds, traits, class, level, all that information gets spawned in there. Eventually I'll also be passing in the zone information. I'm not doing that part yet. But eventually I'll do that. And then I just said, hey, generate me a quest. Put it into this JSON object for me. I gave it an example JSON object. I was like, generate a fantasy RPG video game quest. And I give it like some enums for like quest objectives, like some types, right? This is like, you know, defeat, or it could be building something, could be acquiring an item or a certain number of items. And then I also say, like, here's an array that you can fill out with some mob information if you want to spawn anything. And so I've actually gotten it to spawn things into the world. It's terrible at picking locations to do so, so I'll probably have to do that myself. But that's kind of how that works. So let's see what some other dialogue options are. Tell me more about Old Man Hemlock. Hemlock, he's been the caretaker there for as long as I can remember. Bit of a recluse, kept to himself, but always made sure the shrine was in order. Quiet, gentle soul. Wouldn't hurt a fly, which is why I'm worried something bad happened to him. Why is the Shrine of Everlight so important to Oakhaven? Important, it's vital. It's been a beacon of hope and protection for generations. It wards off evil spirits and keeps the land fertile. If the light is gone, who knows what horrors might emerge from the shadows. And see, this is something really cool that I could even play into, right? Like having repercussions for the quests and letting the AI decide like what happens, what things should spawn and where. I will have a point of interest spawning system as well that I'll use PCG for. Select the quest. And, you know, I could eventually have some different outcomes and events that could be spawned too. Do you have any idea of how many lines of code? No idea. No idea. Thousands and thousands, though. Jacques Leroux, welcome in. Will there be buildings, or is it going to be Minecraft where you can... I mean, there are... it's modular building system is what it is here. So, you have something like that. So then I can do like a little door, put a door there. We'll do a nice little window and some walls, the window to the wall until the, you know, the rest. Yeah. Stairs. We need stairs too. There we go. And all this came from just like some free for the month asset that I've like. Ship of Theseus at this point. I've rewritten most of it, but all the assets are from that. I'm running out of wood, aren't I? Yep. Eventually this will take longer to build. Oh, and these are backwards. Those ones are backwards. Eventually there will be a construction skill that will determine how long it takes to build things. And your colonists will have that skill as well. And so maybe you have some like really good construction colonists that, you know, can build very fast. And in RimWorld, there's a chance to like botch the construction if your skill isn't high enough. And so that I'll do that as well. This pack had some problems I couldn't suss out. What problems did it have for you? I'm not using a lot of the systems that were built into it at all. Oh, I'm out of wood. 100 wood is actually kind of hard to get, too. Like, this tree is going to give me, like, 10 to 12, so I need to chop down 10 trees to build that. I mean, I kind of like that, though, right? Because that means you're just going to... That's why you send your colonists to do it, right? And that also gives you... There will be a logging skill as well. Okay, that gave me 9 wood. Gave me 9 wood. Ignore that. Systems were the problem. Yeah, there's like an ownership system as well. There's like door locking and stuff like that, which I will have like ownership, but mine is just based off the colony ownership. Let's do some dual wielding here. Oh, it's a caster. Hang on. Casters are actually kind of hard. Oof. So I have like a fire enchant on my weapon right now. Ding, level 2. So that might be where I would get like a choice of a new ability, right? What is this? This is game dev. It's a game I'm working on. No name yet. RPG Colony Sim Roguelite in a procedural world. So yeah, just kind of showing it off a little bit. I really need to like start connecting all these systems together, and I think I'm pretty close to getting like an actual like loop going for the colony side of things. Because all the colonists, the green guys have like a hunger level that decreases, and like when they get hungry, they'll start running around looking for food. And you know, I'll have a pretty good flow here soon, where it's like, you know, I'll eventually add like a debuff on them when they're hungry. Maybe they start losing health and they'll die if they're hungry for too long, you know? And so I'll need to do that. And then I've already got the hauling and the foraging working. I just need them to actually go to colony storage to get food, right? I'll need to do like some mechanics for like, you know, I put like a table and some chairs there. Okay, that's a little difficult to use, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, okay, and the pathfinding failed. Woo! Okay. Yeah. Assets from World of Warcraft. Yeah, a few. Some sound effects and some icons, and I actually retargeted some of the animations onto the Unreal Engine skeleton. Because animals are hard to come by, it turns out. So yeah, that's a little bit about the game. I am working on what was I gonna do next? I was gonna do right click to transfer next, and I was looking at where I do that at. What was it? Use inventory item. Yeah. So where do you get called from? Where do you get called from? Looks very interesting. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, happy to answer any questions or explain more if anyone has any. But yeah, for those who just joined, you know, it's RPG Colony Sim Roguelite with procedural terrain and AI generated quests. It'll be, I'm thinking World of Warcraft, you know, vanilla WoW. I'm a man of culture. Vanilla WoW plus RimWorld plus like Hades. And you know, maybe throwing a little survival in there too. Little Minecraftiness in there. Handle UI use inventory item. Is inventory displayed? So I think rather than use inventory item, I should just forward this to the inventory component itself, and then just let the inventory decide. Or not the component, the inventory UI. Inventory use. And so let's create a new function here. I'll just call it inventory use. Or it's literally, we're just going to forward it straight through, basically. So get me the inventory UI ref, and we'll just do inventory use. There. We'll just forward that. Then give me all of that. We're going to put that now in here. Do nothing. Sure. Okay, so I need to know if there is another inventory shown or not. So I guess that's where the HUD comes into play. Inventory, yeah, I guess I don't know. So there's a right click that happens. and I'm forwarding it like from the player controller to, yeah, I guess at that point I don't know what is right clicked. So I actually kind of think the handler of the input action should actually be the item slot. Yeah, I actually kind of think that should be the case. Then the item slot knows what inventory it's in and stuff like that. Yeah, I think that probably should be the case there. What's going to be the game's name? I have no idea. No idea. So input action use UI use Otis, hello, welcome in. I guess I don't know. Yeah, what is the on key? Do I need to do like an on key down here? After key is pressed, when this widget has focus. I kind of think, I think we handle this in inventory actually. And then we just get the highlighted. And then we just get the highlighted index item. Oh, which I got rid of. Shit. Because I thought I wouldn't need it. Well, look who's the dummy now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. What do I want to do about this then? Is there just a... It would be nice if there were an event that only like automatically only triggered. Like I do have like whether or not it's highlighted, so I could just be like on UI use, do something like on completed, will branch off of whether or not it's highlighted, which means, you know, is your mouse over it? I've already got that captured basically. But then it's gonna like run this code for every single fucking item slot every time a right click happens. And then I'll also need to get like if this is like visible and valid as well. And the HUD like the inventories don't know about each other unless it's through the drag and drop thing, which is not going to work for like just right clicking. So it really does feel like I need to do this from the HUD. But then the inventory needs to know which item is like highlighted, which should be whichever one the mouse is on. Yeah, I think I need to put that functionality back that I deleted. Oh no. Shot myself in the foot. Let's just make this handle the UI use, which is a weird looking function, isn't it? Is target inventory displayed? So I'll send something over to inventory use. So is target inventory displayed? Is inventory displayed? I'll also need if is character panel displayed eventually, but that's going to be kind of we'll just put that there. So different things are going to happen. If only inventory is displayed, then we equip it or we use the item, which isn't, you know, the item handles what should happen when it's right clicked. But if they're both displayed, that's the first condition. If they are both displayed, I should transfer to the container. Now, shit. Yeah, we should transfer to the target. So I wonder, yeah, this should probably do something like maybe you inventory use, and maybe there should also be a transfer or something. Which is really just all of this code. So I should maybe make this a reusable function here. Maybe rename drag drop payload to transfer payload. Let's just call it, I already created a new function. So let's call that transfer item. And that will need to return a Boolean for whether or not it was successful. Drag drop payload. Yeah, so let's create one of those as an input. And let's call that transfer payload. I guess we can promote that to a variable. Well, undo that. Drag drop payload from inventory, create local variable, We are going to grab transfer payload here. Okay, let's also rename the class now too. The drag drop payload class, which I think is in, what is it, item icon or something? Item slot? Yeah. BP transfer payload. Okay, you can go away now. Thank you. Yeah, inventory use is going to be rewritten. Not quite there yet, so we're going to delete. We decided we're going to delete that, so I'm going to do this. If they're both displayed, transfer item. But I don't know the item, so that's, we need another function. Transfer item. So let's what are we gonna name this? Let's just do transfer highlighted item. And then that will call transfer item. So you are going to take in a transfer payload. Then we're gonna like update that, right? We're gonna set to inventory. No, that part's gonna be set already, actually. Set from item slot index. Yeah. And set quantity. From item slot index, and then also set quantity. But then here's where we need to get the highlighted item. Yeah. Wait, I have highlighted slot index. Wait a second. Did I or didn't I delete this functionality? Set highlighted slot index. Oh, wait, do I still have it? I hope I still have it. On mouse enter. Yeah, okay, I still have it. We're also doing it when we scroll through the slots there. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, I think we still have it. Hell yeah. We still have it. So highlighted slot index. And then I need to get item at index. Get quantity. Okay. We're gonna do that. Transfer payload goes in there. Get the noodles to behave. Okay, so now we just need to make sure that the place that this is called from kind of pre-populates that payload. Transfer payload. Construct, no. Create, no. New object. Are you kidding me? Construct object from class. Okay, fine. I'll do it manually. Transfer payload. Yes. Pop that in there. Okay, we're going to transfer the payload. So if they're both from actor, do I have, what do I have here? I should have, I can just like get, well, I guess I don't actually know because I don't know which inventory I clicked on. I don't know which inventory I've right-clicked on. So I could click on the target inventory, I could click on the character inventory. So this is all leading me to think that, yeah, the inventory itself is the one that should handle the right-click event. And the item handles the drag start event, so I guess we could make it there, right? You right-click on an item, the item defines what happens. But it kind of doesn't, because I need to know more information. I essentially need to call the HUD and be like, hey, is there another inventory open? What else is open? What happens when you right-click a colonist's inventory and your inventory isn't open? Do you equip it to yourself? Do you use it for yourself, or does the colonist use it? That's another question. The item transfer payload. Ugh. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work, because I don't have the information I need here. Unless I were to do something hacky like get the widget underneath the current mouse position, which feels weird, right? So I think we'll handle the right click in here, but then we'll call back up. Burnt pineapples, welcome in. Good morning. So I think, and then we'll again branch off of is highlighted. Do I use if this is highlighted? I need to, I guess, get local player HUD. UI use. If this is highlighted, UI use. And then I need to, that needs to like take in the item, right? Should that be an item or should that be an inventory and an index? Okay, should I just put it in the inventory and then I get the, that would be the from actor would be the inventory owner, right? Yeah, and I have the highlighted. Yeah, so let's do this. Inventory. Well, yeah, well, I guess we'll need to check. Okay, I already have the UIUs there. I guess we need to check if highlighted slot index not equal to -1. Shit. wrong button, sorry. I deserve that though. I deserve that. Doesn't it get set to -1? Doesn't it? Done it. I feel like it should. We'll see. That's gonna be my first spot that I check for bugs if it doesn't work the first time. Yeah, so this new param then is going to be, I guess, the from widget, because it could also be a equipment panel. UIUs. This event came from a widget, so we'll cast to inventory. There's going to be so many cases handled here in this function. So if it's an inventory, get anchor. Let me call this get owner, return an actor. I do this all over the place. Inventory component, validated get. If it's valid, get owner. Not that one. Get owner. There we go. Make that const and pure. Okay, from widget, wire that up. Get self. Get owner. From actor. There we go. And we're done. Okay, so we need to get that. We need to get highlighted slot index. I wonder if I should do quantity. Maybe I should set that to -1 to mean like all. You know, by just default mean all. Select quantity. Equal to -1. It's equal to -1. We are going to do item get quantity. Pick A, otherwise pick quantity. Oh, the noodles. Oh, them noodles. Okay, yeah, that looks fine. That looks fine. Surely that won't create any issues, right? Surely. That way we call UIUs. That all gets populated from item slots. Construct payload, transfer item. So UIUs, transfer item, transfer payload. I also need to set like the to item. To item slot index from, yeah, I guess the drop just handles it, right? What's the background music? It's there. It's there in the player. Bits and hits. Bits and hits on YouTube. The transfer item, yeah, I guess I don't know from this perspective the transfer to. Because this just gets called on. Oh, I need to call that on the inventory. Right. Okay, that makes sense. So call this on the. I guess I don't know which one. I don't know which one. From widget. Okay, so I need to. Okay, here we go. Get from widget equal to inventory UI ref. So plug this into a select, which will go into here. Select. If the from widget is the inventory UI ref, we will use the inventory UI ref. Otherwise, we use the target inventory ref. Okay. Okay, does that work now? I don't know the 2 slot, but it defaults to -1, which means it'll just go in the first available slot, which is the desired functionality. That is the desired functionality. So we've written that. Let's fix the UI use. Let's do it from this perspective. Okay, so handle inventory use is going to be here. So if false, we're going to transfer the item if they're not displayed, if they're not both displayed. UI use, I guess that's also getting called from the character, right? Wait, where are you called from right now? Handle UI use. Yeah, I don't think that's not going to be in the player anymore, right? That's not going to be in the player anymore. In the player class. Yeah, I mean, it's an input action, so I should automatically assume that it's coming from a player, so I don't necessarily need it there. I'm going to delete that. And also handle UI use. So now, we're just calling it from the inventory, and that which is not, doesn't exist anymore. Doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so we're good there. We're good there. So otherwise, we need is inventory displayed again. We need both of these, actually. Otherwise, blah, 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 branch. Otherwise, is inventory displayed. That means we're just going to use the item from that inventory. But if they're not both displayed, I think I can just use it from whatever inventory this is, right? Does it matter which one is displayed? Inventory use. Do I need to do that? Refresh slots. What is refresh slots supposed to do? Oh, that's on the character panel. Yeah, refresh slot. We're gonna do that from the HUD. I'm just gonna leave that there for remembering. I'll know what that means. Make sure you refresh. Dummy. Yeah, I think I just UI use on this bad boy. Doesn't matter. I don't really need to know. Well, I guess I kind of do. Wrong UI use. Or it was use item. What did I fucking just call it? Inventory use. I wonder, would you want to use something from the colonist's inventory? Because that's what's going to happen here. And yeah, I shouldn't do that. We don't need to do that anymore. Suppose we can do a validated get. Get owning player pawn for the character to use. I guess I could easily change that. I don't know, what would you guys think? If you're right-clicking something in a colonist's inventory and your inventory isn't open. If your inventory is open, it'll transfer the item. But if it's not, like, when you right-click stuff in your inventory, you use it. If you right-click a weapon, you equip it. If you right-click a potion, you'll use the potion. If you right-click food, you'll start eating the food. If you right-click something in a colonist's inventory, would you want to eat that food? Would you want to use that for your character? Or would you be saying, hey, colonist, use this? I'm gonna think, because like, there's no other way to get the colonist to do something right now. To like, if you wanted them to drink a potion, there'd be no way to do that. So I think I'm going to, say it uses it. It uses it on the colonist, or equips it to the colonist. And I think that makes sense. I don't think there's a wrong choice there, but I think that's the more useful one. Because that gives us functionality that we don't otherwise have. For at least like potions and stuff. Like for equipping gear, like the target's character panel could be open, which is a case that I'll need to handle. Is this all it is? Am I done? Am I done? That felt too easy. That felt too easy. Okay. Hello, I right-clicked. Please respond. Highlighted slot index is 0. It is that is not equal to -1. They are both shown. So we create the payload and transfer item, transfer payload. From item slot index 0. Wait, did I click the 0th item? I don't think I did. From inventory is the entity inventory component. I don't think that's right. Yeah, so I think highlighted slot defaults to 0. Okay, yeah, it defaults to 0. Default that to -1. Also, I need to probably handle if the item is null or not. I guess that would happen in here. Item to move, which I check is valid, and then we do false. So nothing happens. So I just joined the moment something started working first try. No, you did not. No. Okay, I did default it to -1 now, though. Happened to be like 5 times the most. Yeah, every time it happens, you're like, okay, this isn't, something's wrong. Like, this is, something works the first time. It's like, oh god, something went horribly wrong. So horribly wrong that I'm not noticing it. You know? So we transfer item. Let's go here. I do have the arrow, so I do, yeah, that slot is correct. So why doesn't the transfer happen? Oh, the 2 item slot is negative. That's a valid case though. Wait, why did I do that? Why did I do that? That's a valid case. Okay, so we're gonna move that. Oh, I know why. Because when I'm dragging and moving, it gets unset. Yeah. I need to check that. I need to move that somewhere else. On the drop. Oh, I didn't even... Oh yeah, I copied that, so hang on. Transfer item. So we need to do that. If it's not equal to -1. If it's equal to -1, we're like dropping it basically nowhere. Which we will handle, but not right now. And then all of this get deleted. Beautiful. What did I just press? Somehow I created a new desktop. It's not what I wanted. Okay. Now I think it should work. Hang on, I think I need to delete a little bit of code. Where was... Okay, no, we did. We deleted it. Okay. Hello, sir. Join me. Show me your inventory. So let's transfer something there. That transferred it to the wrong inventory. I did try, though. It is good that it tried. What did I do? Where is it? It's in the HUD. If the from widget, transfer item. Oh yeah, these do need to be flipped. I was thinking about that backwards. I was indeed thinking about that backwards. Boom, baby. Boom. Oh, and it stacks it too. Automatically. Check this out. Okay, so I split the stacks. And this is just because I wrote the inventory system this way. Boom, stacked it. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Okay. And so if I, let's see, it doesn't do equip, right? I haven't equipped it yet. Or the equip doesn't work. Or does it? Yeah, I mean, that works. So hang on. Will you equip? No, let me give you a dagger. Wait, where did the fucking dagger go? Uh-oh. We deleted an item. Shit. Also, where's my mouse? Did you equip the dagger? No. Where did the dagger go? Shit, we have a missing dagger. Torch, cool. Okay, interesting. I'll need to rerun that. Run that back. On my colony, show inventory. There's the dagger. You still have the dagger. Okay, I right-clicked it. So wait, did you equip it now? Okay, your equipment just doesn't show up at all because you should have your own weapon in there. Okay. Okay. What happened to the dagger? Okay, so now right-clicking it does nothing. I clicked and drug it over there. Dragged it. Right-clicking it from inventory, entity inventory, to inventory, my inventory. It is the dagger. It is 1. 2 slot index is -1. I wonder if it's just, is it just not updating? Or if I close and open. Okay, I right-clicked on that one, and it grabbed that one. Okay, something hinky's going on here. Okay, that just swapped. Yeah, it's all wonky. I wonder if I need to... Oh, you know what I think I need to do? I'm not changing the ownership of the item, I don't think. So they still, from the item's perspective, they still think that they're in the other inventory, but does that matter? I'm not changing, like, the outer of the item U object is what I'm talking about. Does that matter, though? If I right-click on an item that calls this UI use, and give me one moment. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. The inventory UI has its own personality. Your inputs are just suggestions. Yeah, it's kind of. It seems like it. I didn't even notice like any kind of pattern either. It seemed very random. But we'll figure it out. Yeah, I was thinking. So I was thinking that the item has like the wrong outer in certain cases. Sorry, but I don't know what effect that would actually have. Because I'm not like using like or like a my weapon. Oh no, I guess it's my equipment. Yeah, I'm getting the character component class. So yeah, I don't... The outer, I think, doesn't actually matter? And like, I also have to... I have to assume that there's also maybe some... The UI is not getting updated properly problems happening as well. So this I can set this to -1. I wrote that functionality in now. I think quantity, I should maybe even just default that on the transfer payload. Yeah, just default that to -1. So it's like by default all. Where did I just come from? Here. Yeah, so we really just need to set the item and then transfer it, yeah. Transfer highlighted item, yeah. Okay. It's weird. It starts from the inventory, it goes to the HUD, then it comes back to the inventory. Transfer payload from actor from inventory, then I put it in this inventory. Which is a little weird, but it makes sense with the drag. It makes sense with how the drag works. The UI use from inventory, let's just make sure, let's follow it here. Okay, so UI use, so when you right click, if the highlighted slot index is not equal to -1. So let's do a log here. Inventory use index. There we are. Quite simple, really. Quite simple, really. So yeah, let's just do a quick little audit of what the indices are. So if I right click there, I get a -1 and a 7. I'm going to show his inventory. Right click there. I get 7. So the old one is still highlighted. That's an issue. That is an issue. Didn't I say that was the first thing I was going to check too? And I didn't. So it's on the highlighted item, like on mouse leave. I think we also need to do that. Because it's never going to be over... multiple, right? It's still on 2. Oh no, I didn't. I set it to the old. That's dumb. I did the wrong thing. I was setting it equal to itself on leave. Is there a way to debug blueprints? Yes. You can put breakpoints on them, but they're not always, doesn't always show you all the information that you're looking for. Okay, now it's always. Okay, yeah, because the cursor disappears when you right click. Why does that happen? Why does the cursor disappear when you right click in game? Setting input to UI only instead of same results. Yeah, I do set show mouse cursor true. I don't think that's the fix though. Set hide cursor during capture false. Okay. Okay. Move that over here for a sec. How do you manage cursor modes when showing UI? Usually it's all just through my HUD class, which does a set show mouse, is it? What is it? Show cursor, hide cursor. This right here. Set input mode. Is there a set input mode? On hide cursor. On show cursor. Ah, that needs to be false. Okay, it still doesn't. The hover goes away. Why is that? So yeah, it shows the cursor. Okay, it still doesn't. It's still the events go away. That's so fucking stupid. Why is that? Why is that a thing? Mouse over event doesn't happen when holding click. That's the mouse over event doesn't. It seems to trigger the on exit. I'd actually give UE5 another shot the next week, and watching you work in the last week or so made me appreciate its workflow a lot more. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. It's there's a lot to learn, but yeah, C++ plus blueprints workflow can be nice. It does take quite a bit of learning to figure out when to how to communicate between the two worlds and when to do so. You need to include a set node for enable mouse over events on the player controller. Okay, so maybe probably need to stop that, yeah. So maybe on my HUD, show cursor, set enable mouse over events. To true as well. No, it still goes away. Why does the mouse event trigger? And I can't see anything about the mouse event. Is it because okay, let's Unreal Engine on mouse leave triggers on click. I don't want that to trigger on click. Yeah, there we go. This is the same thing. Yep. Just override the event and return. Override what event? Oh, the mouse down, mouse button down. That seems so stupid, but yeah, that probably will work. That is a potential solution. I'm wondering if there's a better one, though. Oh, it should be UI only. What is game? What is game? Oh, set game and UI is what causes it to. That's the solution I'm looking for. That's the better solution, I think. And I do game only, and then when I show cursor, I do game and. What does game and UI mean? Engine input modes. Where can I read that? Or I just need. Can I get some? Dude, the Unreal Engine docs are so bad they don't even show up. And of course, it's just giving me the fucking refs. I just want a doc that tells me what each one is. When you set input to UI only, the player controller can no longer process input. Okay. I see. The widget in focus has now the exclusivity, and it should be the widget that shuts itself down and restores the appropriate input mode. That seems very difficult to use. What? Because, like, I have UI that pops up and stuff, you know, but then I have the escape key. I always want the escape key bound. I bind it in the player controller. Escape key shuts down, you know, closes all the UI. Whatever UI is shown, it will close it. So if I set it to UI only, that would stop working. And then I would need to handle that, I guess, in my HUD class, if I didn't want to, but it says the The widget in focus now has the exclusivity, and it should be the widget that shuts itself down and restores the appropriate input mode. So I would have to do that from every single fucking widget? That's who would use that? Who on earth would use that? It seems so annoying to use. What do you call on the PC's escape key? I do call to the HUD and tell it to hide all UI. It's an enhanced input action. But I don't know if the UI, I don't know if the HUD would still be able to respond to those events if I said it. I mean, I can fucking test it, right? I suppose I could test it. What does hide all UI mean? Like this. Wait, so I can... No, I can inspect. I hit escape. That goes away. Hit escape again. That goes away. So now it's like if I wanted... If I set it to UI only, what I'm reading is... You have a list of all widgets that exist, iterate through them, and hide them. I have them, they're like hard refs to them, so I don't iterate through them. I just, because I still want things like my portrait to show, right? So I just close the relevant ones. And I have a list that I maintain for that. But like, yeah, I don't want to, whoops. I don't want to shut down my player because like I still want to be able to move around, right? Like who would use that input mode? I mean, I get the only use case that has is for a full screen, and I guess games are, and I hate this about games nowadays. So many games are doing the full screen UI, and I hate it. It's not necessary for like 60-70% of use cases. Like I am not going to have a single full screen UI, even my fucking world map. It's only gonna it's probably take up less than that actually. Pause menu. Here's my pause menu. Oh god. You don't need a full screen UI for that. Main menu. You mean like the start screen? Well then yeah, when you're not, I mean like when you're actually playing the game. And it's like so many games have their, you know, their character sheet is the full screen. The user interface is the full, or not the user, the inventory is the full screen. Like, dude, I don't need all that. And it's kind of jarring to switch back and forth between the world and the UI when it like takes over the full screen and stuff. I'm talking about when you would need a UI only input mode, but the player controller doesn't exist in the main menu, so you don't have to worry about it. You can still use the same mode and just make it less confusing. And like my pause menu, I can still move around when it's paused, so I would still want to do that. Of course, there's a player controller in the main menu. Why wouldn't it be there? Why do you have your player controller set up in your main menu game mode? Why would you have that? It would be a different player controller, is what I'm saying. It wouldn't be the same one that you bind your player inputs to, right? Or am I thinking about that wrong? Because like your worlds have like the world settings, right? You have your game mode override on your player controller class here. I assume you would just, like I don't have my player controller class there. I don't think. Yeah, I just have the normal game mode in my main menu. Why do you need the specific game mode in here? I guess I don't know. I don't think there's a whole. What I'm saying is I don't think there's a whole lot of use case for that input mode. So I'm gonna have to do that hacky workaround. That feels bad. Is mouse button down, left mouse button. Then there's the other guy that like get affecting button is mouse button. Yeah. Which will be the better solution. Yeah, I think there's a better way to implement the input modes. And like, you know how easy it would be to implement that input mode on your own? To just like, it would literally be a single boolean in your player controller or whatever. But I guess it's like you want to not receive input from anything that's not a UI. I mean, I guess there's some reason for that, but like still, just write it in a way that it doesn't matter, you know? Middle, are you laughing because you agree with me? Or are you laughing because this is another blueprint implementable event situation? I have a feeling this is another minority take. I feel like I am, what bike shedding, right? That's what we call it. I feel like I'm bike shedding here. But I mean, this is annoying, right? This is annoying that I have to do this. And this is now just like some knowledge that I have to know. Like, yeah, when you click the mouse button down, I don't think by default the mouse leave event should trigger. Like, that's silly. The mouse is still there. Why would I want that to... In what case would you want that to happen? I don't agree with you at all. What is the use case, I guess, for wanting the mouse leave event to trigger when you click, even though your mouse is still in the same spot? I don't know. Now it works perfectly. Yeah, now it works. Juggerino. Jaggerino. Thank you. Jaggerino. Thank you for the follow. Okay, now it works. So maybe that had something to do with why our inventory couldn't transfer properly. Just do what makes sense for me. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that point, but I just don't think that the default functionality of this is something that should be a thing. Like, that has clearly tripped people up before based on I found like 2 of the first solutions were for my exact issue, so I'm not the only one who is confused about this. And whether or not you want the input mode to, like, the input mode aside, the input mode thing aside, I don't think that this should be the thing. Regardless of what the input mode is. I don't think the input mode should affect this functionality. That's a very, very specific idiosyncrasy that doesn't really make sense. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Anyways, right click, it's stacked, split it, right click. We're still good? Okay, so I think, yeah, the like highlighted index thing was an issue. Yeah, everything is still there. Okay, and it goes in, that's nice. It actually goes into the first stackable slot instead of like the first empty slot. So that's actually nice that happened automatically. forget what is the stacking for that. Oh, and it stacked up to the final one to the final total until it went to the next one. Oh, it's so nice that it automatically works like that. I think it's working now. This seems deterministic now. You're having a problem having the slot while dragging. The original problem was like I was trying to do a right click to like when you have okay, so here's the issue. I'll explain here. On the item slot, I have an on mouse enter and an on mouse leave. This determines which slot is highlighted, right? So you see how I highlight over it. This determines which one is highlighted, which tooltip is shown, and which one, when you right click, gets used, right? Like I equipped the bow, I equipped the axe, right? Before I had this code here on the on mouse leave for making sure that the mouse button isn't down. Anytime I would right click, it would cause the on mouse leave function to trigger, which sets the highlighted slot index to -1, meaning nothing is highlighted. And then I couldn't actually right click on anything. Like I couldn't actually equip on anything unless I clicked really fast. And I think that's bad. I think that's bad. And the right click is also how you can transfer. So you can click and drag to transfer, or you can right click. What if his inventory is full and you overstack? So you can't overstack. So you notice it stacked up that one and the one. These ones are over the stack that I've just set the number to 1000, so that those are like invalid configs. Is widget losing focus or something? Yeah, I guess that was the issue. When you have the input mode set to game and UI, it loses focus, and when you right click, the widget loses focus and calls on mouse leave, which I don't think should be the case, right? I don't think that just because a key event happened that a widget should lose focus. Especially if the event is a mouse event and your mouse is over the widget in question. I don't think that it should lose focus automatically. I guess that's the crux of my issue with the system. And then my extension, I just don't think the UI only input is that useful. The way they have it set up. To me, it's only useful for when you have those full screen UIs. Where do I detect the right click? In the inventory. In the inventory, which is the parent of the slot that has the mouse enter event. But I mean, I think if the answer is where this gets triggered from is affecting the focus, I feel like that's also potentially a little strange. It does make sense when you have multiple widgets that are in different hierarchies, right? Different parts of the hierarchy. You know, I have two different inventories. Which one I click on depends on which one has focus. That makes sense. But like these item slots are children of the inventory. Like that should still have focus, right? You are mixing UI with game input because it's an input action, or because I have the game mode set to UI and game. Because I do want this to be like a configurable thing, right? For like controller support and stuff. But I don't just want to do like key down or whatever it is, like left mouse. I don't want to just do that, if that's the solution. Because then I can't configure that at all. But anyways, we have it working now. So I think we can cross that one off the list. And yeah, by the way, if the inventory is full, my functions do account for that. I haven't tested that yet, but I'm gonna assume that's working. I just don't have enough items to actually test that yet. So we'll get there one day. Right click to transfer, cross that bad boy off. Cross that off. This is probably a pretty good stopping point for me. So dropping the item on the ground is probably gonna be my next big thing. So I need to actually create the world items and stuff in the ISMC to handle all that. You can bind inputs in UI too. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. This is the inventory UI. Just to be clear, this is the component, the widget for the inventory, not the like inventory component. So yeah, I do have bindings there in the UI. Okay, let's see. Or drop item on the ground. Just gonna ponder this for a moment before I hop off here. Drop item on the ground. I need to make ISMC with cube meshes, custom data for each item in the ISMC. This would be would I have custom? I do need custom data for, would just be texture and quantity. Well, I guess just texture for now. Custom data for texture for each one. This would need to maintain array of items. Basically items to instance ID, or rather instance ID to item. Maintain, it'd actually be a map, but a list of items basically. And so when I went on drop in world, I would add to that list, call a function that would actually add the instance and stuff like that at a particular location. On drop in world, ISMC, whatever that class is. On drop in world ISMC, like drop item, the U, taken into U my item, and then that would add to this would add to ISMC and item map. ISMC has interaction interface. Interact. This picks up item. U for delete or destroy. Or destroy item. Yeah, maybe you would want to destroy item. Items also now need a durability as well, if they're going to be in the world, but that's a whole nother system. And so to actually do the drop, is there a way for me to detect? So I have the on drop here. But I guess if I'm just I guess I would need to override that on the HUD. HUD class on HUD UI. I hope that would just handle everything else that isn't that. And then that would... What would that do? I'd have to do like a line trace or something, right? I'd have to figure out where, you know, I'd have to figure out location. There's got to be a max distance, right? Because if you just click somewhere in the sky, it's not gonna drop it from the fucking sky, right? Figure out location to drop. The drop item needs a location as well. Location. Item to drop. Should return bool, right? Bool for if it was successful. I mean, it should always be successful, right? I guess the on drop returns a boolean, and that I'll listen to that for if on drop returns, right? Because it returns, yeah, returns handled. On dropped returns successfully handled. Remove from inventory. That's just the final kind of step there. Figure out location to drop. Because I'll need to also reconcile any existing items that are in the world. We won't want to like drop things on top of each other, I don't think. Figure out location to drop. You know, line trace from cursor position to world. Max certain interact distance, then also trace down to ground. To ground, or you know, trace down to, it would be terrain or world static / dynamic, I think. Make sure no other items are in the same spots. Which would be, that's going to be a kind of difficult one, right? Because would I have to iterate over every item? If I don't have collision on them, I would have to. If I had collision on them, I suppose I could just use that to figure out if they're overlapping. Maybe I just return false. Yeah, I think maybe I just return. That's the easy way to handle that, right? Instead of like pushing it. I was trying to think of like, oh, come up with the next nearest hit location. Let's say like return false if, we'll say drop item, return false if item already there. And so am I putting every dropped item in the world into the same ISMC? Is that a bad idea? Because right now they're all going to be the same cube, and then there's going to be a texture in their custom data, which is going to be the icon. But I think maybe eventually I might actually put the meshes in the world. In that case, I can't return false if the item's already there. So I'll have to check all the other ISMCs for world items. World item ISMC. Maybe there should be a subsystem for that. Maybe I'll just do world items subsystem. Then that handles dispatching it to the relevant ISMCs. Maybe there's only one for now. Maybe there's more in the future. Say if drop item, return successfully handled, remove from inventory. The item to drop has add to ISMC and item map, custom data and item map. Now, say if line trace is in, I'll say results in area. I would need to get the, I don't know, maybe you have to like make sure the line trace hits something valid so that I don't have to do, because if you click it like off in the distance, go out, you know, trace outwards and then trace down to get the terrain. Maybe I make you click the terrain, right? Maybe I just make the player have to specify something, although that would be kind of annoying, right? Maybe you should just drop at the player's feet if they don't click on anything. We'll have to play around with that. We'll have to play around with that. I know that I don't want these, I don't think I would want these things to have collision on them. I really don't know what I'm going to do with world items. I guess I need to think about that a little bit more. One thing I think would really be cool is to have stockpiles where you can actually see the items that you've collected. Which is what I want the areas to kind of be. There was a game called, what was it? Farthest Frontier? Is that what it was called? Something Frontier? And it was a Colony Sim game, but it was like a top-down Colony Sim game. But you could like zoom into the storage areas. You can actually see all the things. Like they had physically modeled all the things there. Like the wood, gold, food, all that. And it was actually kind of cool to see. And so I think that would be pretty sweet. I think that would be pretty sweet to see when you're walking around your colony. You can actually see all the shit. It also take up a lot of space, right, for like tree trunks and wood and stuff, you know. But then again, I also maybe don't want to make that too realistic or too like one-to-one size-wise, because then it's going to be like you're going to chop down a tree. It'll give you like the amount of wood a tree gives you would need to be like, it's either immersion breaking because I can't really balance how much wood things take with how much wood is in the world. And it becomes unimmersive because it's like, oh, the fucking foundation takes 100 wood, which is like, you know, maybe that's 10 trees, but it's like, dude, you don't need 10 trees to actually build that, right? And if it's going to be storing the whole tree like that, then that illusion becomes a little bit more apparent, I think. Maybe that's not too big of a deal though for the coolness that it gives you. Yeah, some more thought will need to go into that. I need to hop off though. I gotta go to work now. So I'm gonna find someone to send you guys over to. Following. In the same category. What is he? Is he playing Doom right now? Let me see. Is someone streaming on YouTube? Let me see here. I have like 2 people watching on YouTube right now. Oh shit. Cavino. Okay, so we could raid Cavino or Prismatica. I'll do Cavino because I don't think we've done a YouTube redirect to him, even though I have 0 people on YouTube, so it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter at all. But we're going to raid just Cavino to test this out for him. He's playing Doom right now, which looks fun. So yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks everyone for stopping by. Hopefully I'll be on again tomorrow for some more game dev. Probably be working on the world items. Probably. So yeah, take care everyone. Have a good rest of your day. Oh, let me set up the live redirects first before I do this, so I can do it all at once. There we go. Save. Okay, change is saved. Okay. I'm gonna end the stream. Bye.